Oh, hey guys, how's everybody doing? Man, you guys brought me on abruptly. I didn't even know I was already on set, but good to be on here though, guys. Do us a favor, share the podcast. Again, we apologize for the late start to the show. The guys in studio, we want to welcome all of you from far and near. Good to be on here as we wait on the rest of the panelists to join us. Uh, Due to time constraints, we are running late, but we are glad to be on here today to discuss a lot of things that are happening in and around Liberia, including the president visit to the UNGA, what's happening for Liberia, and on behalf of the masses. Very often we speak to these things, but it is not elaborate. And we will use this opportunity to educate our people on this. So I want to say thanks to all of you for continuously following the closing argument, wherever you may be joining us from. We thank you for being a part of the platform. As the rest of the panelists get themselves ready to join us tonight to discuss critical national issues, we will definitely say to you, do us a favor, do due diligence, share the show, invite somebody, tell somebody else to come and be a part of the podcast tonight. It should be a very interesting one because I know the rest of the panelists are preparing themselves to be well engaged. We apologize. From my end, we are expecting the hurricane. So, further down south with the issue of the hurricane, we are trying to stay afloat. So hopefully everything is okay with those of us here. If you notice that probably in the midst of the podcast, something happened. We get a little bleep. Don't feel like Lofa is running off the show. It's just simply because we have to be alert and keep ourselves informed and update with what is going on. Now, with that said, I want to use this opportunity to welcome all of you. I see Thompson B. Balls. Thompson, welcome to the show. Thompson said, watching from Sydney, Australia. Looking forward to a great and informative show today. Emmanuel Gizi Ansa, good evening. The closing argument. Welcome to the show, James A. Koyate Jr. Good evening, closing argument family. To those of you who are following from Liberia, we want to welcome all of you to the closing argument. Let's take a little bit of music. Again, as we have, just use this opportunity to engage you guys while we prepare ourselves and while we make sure that the rest of our listening audience are preparing themselves, gearing up for the conversation.
Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands. Come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people that's us, the government betrayed us.
James A. Koyate Jr. is following up from Duport Road. Mr. Koyate Jr., we want to welcome you to the closing argument. And to those of you on Radio Land, we said thank you for following the closing argument.
Retire with the promises that left us
your premier and informative platform, bringing you all of the information,
indeed, and now you
discussion from far and near. This is about Mama Liberia, the lie to us. What is going on in Liberia?
Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow their citizens to breathe? See, we just tell you.
The question remains as why is it that corruption can never get out of Liberia?
You screw us.
Get yourselves ready as we wait for the man, Dr. Peabody, Rose Guar.
I miss you lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
St. Tomalin George and other folks who will be joining us.
People screw us. People us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us so. The people laugh to us.
Yvonne Davis is following us from Canada. Yvonne, welcome to the show. Great to see all of you on here, folks. Do us a favor, share the video.
My people don't want to hope on nobody. My hope that I have been broken. Telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they too
Where are the jobs?
The people tired with their.
Where are the jobs? Where are the schools? And where are the changes that we expected?
They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work, but people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So, why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. They lie. The people fool us so. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt.
Musa YB Cooper, welcome. Good morning to you. So wherever you're following us from, we want to say good morning to you and your family.
That left us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed and not unique.
The speeches are no longer unique to the people. The people themselves are suffering.
So why does you lie?
It's no longer about the beautiful speeches. It's all about what the people give themselves.
Just tell you.
The people trusted you and they saw you to be that savior.
But you fool us.
You fooled them, you lied to them, you abused them, and you disrespected them.
Why? The government should lie. My people, where you at? Where you at?
Why must you lie to the people?
Whip your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go.
Aaron Zion, he said, good evening. I'm following up from the Rehab EOW community. All of you following from all the way in Liberia, let us know where you're following from, and we will acknowledge and appreciate you. Aaron Zane following all the way from the EOWA community. Dex Meyer, Lofa, please play the new song.
The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises.
Liberians are tired with the lies and they make up promises. The lies are too much for people to control, and they cannot live up to the expectations of the people.
Tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now you
people are tired with all of the speeches. We are tired. It's no longer unique. It takes away from the reality.
So why does you lie?
Our people are dying from curable diseases in the country, while government officials themselves continue to live in luxury.
That's why we voted you.
The people voted you to bring changes, but you are now using this to excuse or rescue yourself.
Why?
Folks, we are asking for you to do due diligence, share the show.
Why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us so. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. No one to trust. My people don't want to hope on nobody. My hope that I have been broken. Telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work, but people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation. The poor, you got nothing to show. Nothing. So, why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. They lie. The people fool us so. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the ball around the airport. Retire with the promises that let us do all our damages. Retire with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to breathe? You see, we just tell you that why we vote tell you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and little on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much.
The people lied to us. The government betrayed us. They fooled us. They said everything that was in the best interest of they and their pockets. Unfortunately, it was not about the people. Neither did they have any plan to rescue the country. Words from the wise. Folks, we want to welcome all of you to the closing argument today. As often stated, I'm your host, your humble seven Lofa Julius, and I come to you live from the people's city of Raleigh, the state of North Carolina. Great to be on here today, serving as your host, as the rest of our panelists join us. We are airing on radio, Truth FM. And in studio with us is the man Ansel Salif, and we are glad to be here today, co-hosting with the man Ansel Salif as the rest of the panelists join us to bring us update on what is happening in Liberia. From different perspectives, you will hear different views. Both activists and advocates, political pundits will give their perspectives on things as it unfolds in Liberia. Great thing about the closing argument is you hear things from different perspectives. You hear it from an advocate perspective, an activist, a political pundit, and the rest of it as we go through. Great to be in studio with you, Ansu. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's hear from you. What's going on in Liberia today? What is the latest that is going on? What's happening with the people, to the people, and about the people? We know you're well informed and you can give us update on the happenings in the country. Thank you for being here. Let's hear from you, boss man.
Thanks so much, Julox. And let me say thanks again to you. And I really admire the energy. Today, wonderful. Great to have me on the closing argument back home here. And just that for the past it's a week or for the past days now, our people are being affected by flood, by water. The rain have already been heavy for the past days here in Liberia, and there are a lot of homes where they got affected by the rain. And we look on the disaster management team, looking up to the Ministry of Public Works, looking at the city corporation, and we've been finding other developments that they came from the Ministry of Public Works about some of the makeshift area that are built on the waterway, some of the scratch on the waterway. They were thinking about trying to get rid of some of the scratch on the waterway. So we threw a little bit of light on it today. It's been a very, very tough week for me. My boss is on our side in the US O'Neill, so I come in the morning. I want to fill in with my guy and then be here with you guys and on the closing argument. So the Minister of Public Works said that they are going to work, in terms of getting some of this scratch up for the waterway. But now we are thinking of what mechanisms are they going to use? What are they going to put in place, Julius, to get some of this scratch up for now the waterway? And we were seeing it today. There are a lot of things you have to put in place if you want to do that. Some people say it's too early. Some people say it's belated because looking at the city, looking at the population now in the city, the city is overcrowded. How are they going to do it? How are they going to work it on? But I think they said they're going to work it on with the city, the corporation, the disaster management team, because the water is taking over the city. In some area, you do expect water. You not expect water set to be in the city in Monrovia. There where you see water. This time when it rain, you see people coming out with their loads, their batteries, and other stuff there from their home. So they are trying to find solution. But all in all, Judas, they were saying to them on the morning show, these things then, people still selling land. Some of the area where you have, wetland, people still selling it, to people. So it's a lot of work need to be done because you have to farm, you have to go out to land authority. You have to stop you from selling land, especially wetland. You have to do some follow up to the city corporation, the MCC or the PCC. You have to do follow again to the Ministry of Public Works. All these things in the boy in place. So as I said, the public minister said they're going to demolish some of the mixed structure, maybe on the waterway. They're going to makeshift structure on the waterway. They're going to demolish them. So we want to see what mechanism put in place. How are they going to relocate people? So those are some of the things happening back home for our people who already been affected by the rain from the past days.
Thank you. Let's welcome Sister Grace Guar to the show today. Great to see you on here, Sister Grace. Let's hear from your end, and then we will bring in updates from our brother O'Neill, who is actually representing the platform in New York. I want to believe Truth FM. Sorry, guys. He's actually in New York right now and covering the UNGA. So we will hear from him briefly, giving us coverage as to what is happening at the UNGA. We will give you the opportunity to hear the voice of our representative at the UNGA, and then we will jump right into our conversation. But before we do that, let's hear from Sister Grace, and then we will bring a news voice from New York.
Well, my name is Grace Guar. I'm happy to be here tonight. Today is Friday, and most of our panelists are not on here because they are going to the weekend celebration of life for Myean Garguah. So I heard some of them are on their way. I talked to some of them. They are driving now to Delaware to go and celebrate his life that he lived. The songwriter said, "May the life I live speaks for me." So I guess he was a very good guy. So that's why everybody. I mean, most people I know about 5 person on their way driving already that I know personally that are going on their way to his funeral and his wake for this weekend. So we happy that we are here to represent the rest of the panelists. I know some people will be coming on. Kehleboe, are you coming on? But I know some people will be coming on, and I would like to say thanks to the guys in the studio. Ansu is on here tonight. Ansu, thank you for coming on. I also will say concerning the erosion, the water in Liberia. I think I spoke about it on Wednesday night a little bit. I just brushed off on it. And Liberia, the Monrovia city, I think Monserrate as a whole was built to accommodate at least 300,000 people, at least. But for now, they have like 1.2 or 3 million people live in the Monserrate and surrounding areas. So these people are building their homes in the alleyways and stuff. Even when I went back to Liberia in July, I did not even make up the house that I used to live in. I've been going to Liberia, but every year when I go there, it changes because the more people are getting, in between those homes and building zinc on the roads, and so the water system is not working. And if you know Monrovia well, you will know that Liberia is surrounded by the ocean, so the water is not able to go back to the ocean, and the ocean water that's coming, everything just missing. The place is flooding. It's getting very scary. The government or whosoever is supposed to be looking into that should be looking into that right now, or else people they will lose Monrovia as a city if they don't take time, because every year it's getting worse. So we hope they're going to do something about it. As Ansu said that I think one of the ministers was saying that they need to actually uh, get rid of some homes, like especially those homes that are built in the alleyway. Everybody cannot stay in the city. It's so sad that people just think that they have to stay in the city. But you got to understand too, the people, because of the road connectivity, so people cannot afford to just live, in the rural areas anymore. So they come to the city. It's not an excuse that if you don't have a place to live there, you have to force your way in and build homes that are not supposed to be in the roads and stuff like that. So it's really suffering the city as the capital city is bad off, very bad. Once you see here on the screen, it's not even enough. When you get there, that way you know that this is ridiculous. So we hope the government be able to do something concerning that before the city breakdown. And then I spoke about decentralization as well. So if you have the country is decentralized, the people won't have to come to Monrovia to do everything. So then it will help in that way for the city to be a little bit, free of all that. And let me just give a little information. This is my last take on this. Even here in the USA, I always go there because Liberia, when it comes to Liberia, it's everything about America. But my old area where I had my old house, I used to live in the area where the people had to clear the streets because that place was getting very busy. They started building businesses, in that area. And so the government, what the state did, or what we live in our precinct, what they did here was that they bought the houses. The government bought the houses from those people, and those ones who did not want to agree to sell the house, they forced them out. They will give you a certain amount of money. You have to leave because they had to break those houses down from the road to make sure they open up the road for that, so the traffic would not be that heavy, because the traffic would not allow people to go to work on time because the road was closed out from houses and homes that were built in those areas. So we're hoping that even if the government comes to get rid of these houses, that they will even compensate these people so they can be able to have places to stay after they leave the areas that they want to really break down, and make sure that the roads are clear and clean the quarters and stuff like that. But it's nice to be here.
Thank you, guys. Grace. Let's take the words. Let's actually acknowledge Johnny, our brother Johnny, Nebi, who's actually joining us. Are you so you're in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
You still in Atlanta? Okay, great, great. Thank you for joining us. Of course, Choo Choo, both of you guys will give you an opportunity to just, again, introduce yourself before we take the words from our O'Neill in New York. Let's hear you guys. Just welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. I know it's a busy, busy Friday. People are moving around. Yet and still, you avail yourself to do the people's job. So we cannot ignore that, but we must say thank you for being here and welcome to the show. Let's hear from you. As far as the Friday, what's going on from your end, and how are things looking like for you based on what's going on in Liberia and around the world?
Johnny?
Okay, so thank you, and Julius and my sister Grace, thank you for taking on the show, and Ansu from Morovia, and also my brother Chuchu. So, I mean, from my end, as you know, I mean, you guys know this place better than me. We've been probably like I've been indoor for the last 2 days because of the tropical weather condition. I mean, my lectures had to be suspended from Thursday to Friday, and it is just this afternoon we're having kind of labor or sunlight coming up, and so I went out with a brother and a Lebanese brother that I met in one of my lecture, a PhD graduate student who got interested in my conversation. He came over to take me for lunch so we can discuss more as to how we could collaborate in doing some articles and writing on issues of conflict resolution around the world with regards to the Liberian context and his own context from Lebanon and the Middle East. But going back to our country, Liberia, like I heard from my sister Grace regarding flood, and I was watching the news there. In fact, I saw that some communities are also experiencing flood. The homes are getting flooded with water, and some of the roads are getting blocked because of tree, falling along the way. And what I want to say about our situation in Monrovia and Liberia as a whole is that I think we need to, like I was saying the last time when I heard from Grace, we need to like sit down and redesign Liberia. And to redesign, meaning redesign is like, I don't know how to even describe it, but we say in Loma, they say Adipu wire adeseve, which means if things are getting so difficult for our can solve it, we'll let everything wasted first. Then we will take our own time to start designing and putting things in order step by step. That will be the beginning of everybody coming together. And I like what Chuchu said. Chuchu said, but we have had this with 1980 coup. We had this with the Civil War. And say, but yeah, 1980 coup, we didn't waste everything and start to redesign. We just took a step into what was happening. But I think when it comes to urban planning, our government, our system of government to identify people based on qualification and specialty. We can't do everything when it comes to just politics and politics and politics. There are certain aspects of our government system that needs professionals, they need the technical expertise to sit down and design what we should do. We need clear urban planning people at the the government ministerial agency that are responsible for internal governance. In as much as we don't do our proper urban planning, city planning, and organize ourselves, we will have problem. And Liberia is not yet suffering from overpopulation. I would disagree with anyone who say we're having overcrowdedness. No, it's just we're having unstructured activities. We don't have a proper land use plan. We should have a land use plan for our communities. If you look now in Monrovia and its environment, if you drive the Water Ralphie Highway, the same unstructured plan, no alleyway, no plan for anything. If you take the Pinsdale Road going to Kakata, the same thing. We're just building anywhere, any kind of way we can build. If you take the road going towards Tomalin bombing way, the same thing. Everybody just building anyway, anyhow. People now are even backfilling the swamp, the mangrove swamp, which is bad. If you go to Ghana's Bay, the whole swamp going towards the Two River is being almost covered. And that swamp has environmental support for us as a people in that city. The swamp, that mangrove swamp is there to help the fishes in the sea to come up, lay their eggs there and go back. When they get hatched, they go back into the sea. So our people need to be educated about why we have all these things around here. But other than that, I'm afraid that in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, we'll lose all our natural habitat for ourselves, and then we'll go back to having heat wave. We should not have heat wave in Liberia, but it's because of our attitude. So we need to just organize ourselves and make sure that people do the right thing. So let me stop here just as an introductory statement, and let me allow my brother to come in with a statement.
Thank you, Brother Johnny. Alex, let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, Lofa, and the bold and beautiful Grace. This is the real Iron Lady for Liberia. Keep doing what you do, Johnny. It's such a honor to have you on the show. I think you bring a very good dimension and professionalism. So it's an honor to share a platform with you. Lofa, again, your hard work will pay off. You do a good job. I didn't know you're such a good DJ. So you got a good voice for DJ, though. Yeah.
I did that thing part-time when I was in high school and college. So
but where did you hear he DJ at?
They meant to be DJing before the show started.
Oh yeah.
Be calling names, sending shout out.
Okay.
It's good. It's good. You've got good radio voice. But yeah. I don't think I need any introduction. But my name is Chuchu Alex Jones. Currently based in the U.S. The chairman and founder of the Movement to Make Liberia Better, which is a think tank and a pressure group. So most people know me for attacking your politician, but that's what the Movement to Make Liberia is all about, to hold people accountable. The big people in society, since most of our people in Liberia, of course,
They don't have that ability. They're struggling, they're looking for jobs, they're looking for the 1-2-1-2. So for some of us who God has blessed, where at least we gotta go to get no small thing for any beach in Liberia. We're not looking for a job for them. We can tell them wherever we want to tell them. So that's what the movement to make Liberia is all about. It's a non-partisan organization. So that's why I take it very seriously. But I mean, like Johnny and everybody else, the country is such that, people can't even see the way forward. The legislature is corrupt and dysfunctional. The executive is dysfunctional. Even the church. I mean, I remember the days where in Liberia, when you was a pastor or clergy, people who held you with such reverence because you carry yourself in an honorable way. I went to cathedral when Archbishop Michael Francis walk. It's almost like the grand tremor of respect. Yes, a man who can tell the president anything when he's wrong. When I was a child, I used to go to Mother Dukley Church. My family, used to go there, and I used to get an opportunity. And you enter the Fifth Healing Temple of Jesus Christ on Bushra Island. So for your that thing that I know Liberia, I know nothing Liberia, you're out of your mind. You're just getting to know Liberia. When Mother Dukley speak, people tremble. But today, look at our clergy people. Not all of them, but most of them, no respect, falling behind the little girls there. Every government I can, they won't get money from the government. Their ceremony get no heed, no tea. Then they call themselves reverend. Then you want me to kind of respect you? So we need to, everybody, and Grace, I read your article today. Very good article. Thank you for writing and publishing all the time. We need more ladies. We need more women. All the women that can be talking, women, right, all that kind of stuff. Come out and talk about, the issues that are facing women. Mentor or young girl. Be of some use to society. Don't be useless. Don't just follow behind the dressing and the Facebook posting. There's so many things you can do to encourage other people. This is what we have the ability to do, right? Lofa, myself, Dr. Peabody, to change our society. What are you doing? You can't just go party to the club. You come by, you wear the other clothes, you go on Facebook, 10 men or women tell you, say, oh, you're looking fine today. Then you go to sleep, you get it the next morning, you do the same thing again. What your purpose in life? Then you jump behind one political party, you wear green t-shirt or blue t-shirt, you put beret on your hair. You even know what the political party stand for. You know what the plan is, or you're going to. So this Friday, I just hope everybody reflect, and for your purpose. What is your purpose? If you want to be, there was the same one, you want to be bad, be bad. You want to be a spokesperson, or you want to hold government accountable, do it in a way where you put pepper in a mouth. And that's what I intend to do to them. So
Thank you.
I'm not here to draw back from them.
Thank you, Alex. Before we start today's conversation, at some point in time, I may have to leave you guys. As you are aware, the hurricane. So I have to do a couple things because I have techs who are working on call. So I may have to be responding. Anyway, I know, Alex, you mentioned my DJing skills, but that was something I did back then when I was young, man. When I was a young boy, that's what I did. That was my extra cash. When I was in college, in high school, I was DJing in Chicago, Minnesota, in the house parties and stuff. So I did that thing as my extra cash. Now I'm too old to be doing that. I just I use my voice for something else. But on the real note, though, let's listen to Neil from New York. I guess he got something to give us from New York. Let's listen to the brother giving us update on the UNGA to start our conversation.
Yes, it's a good day to be live in New York. This is the Southern Night edition of the UN Pan Nations General Assembly at the UN's headquarters today. My name is Oni Ramos, live from New York City. His Excellency, the President of Liberia, President Joseph Boakai, will have his address today at the United Nations General Assembly. So join us as we bring you full detail from U.S. headquarters. Yeah, so again, we are out here as we await His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Boyka will address the United Nations General Assembly. As a matter of fact, he will be the eighth speaker. But meanwhile, Liberia bid for the non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council. Her Excellency Minister Sarah Bassel Yanti is the face behind this as she pushes for Liberia to get a seat. Other African countries need that support. So we'll look, that is on Friday, the 27th of September. But the big ice bites is today whether the president will definitely speak on Liberia, the war crimes, the economic crimes. So we'll know that it's a big news in our country and his own plan of the RS agenda. So all years, let's have listening years as the Excellency President Boyka will deliver his first General Assembly speech at the UN headquarters today. I'm going to need Robert still for all the details live from New York City.
So I think that is the voice. That was the voice of O'Neil Robert. I think he's the station manager, in Liberia, but he's actually covering the UNGA in New York. I think a whole lot of things happened. You are spoke to the president's UNGA speech, and I think there is an ongoing plan regarding the desire, to have Liberia, I guess on the seat. But let's start with this whole the entire idea of bringing several delegation members, okay, to the UNGA. From my perspective, I look at it as a being wasteful, considering the fact that in your intro, all of your introductions, you spoke of key issues. Per my view, for a government that ran on the narrative of coming to rescue the people that is in dying need, okay, our people live in abject poverty, okay, the issue of health care, the hospitals are in deplorable condition. If we are to speak of education, the quality of education that the young people are receiving today is one you and I will agree that I don't think government officials will allow their kids to be admitted at public academic institutions, public schools. Okay. And if we are to speak of security, we are just as we sit on here today, we are being notified that there were several issues of death in the country. A young man was just killed in the Matadi area. People are on the fear. They cannot roam the streets easily anymore. So basic necessities are not being met. Education, food, security, healthcare. These things are not being met. But the government that ran on the mantle of change or rescue is now traveling with several members, okay, to come, and not in the best interest of the country to say, okay, their representation will use some kind of result. Let us address it. What is your reaction considering the current state of the nation, with the people having to live in abject poverty, and our people are still struggling to put their heads above the water, but the government continued wasteful spending and is just in gross disrespect and disregard for the plights of the people? What do you guys make of it? Let's start our conversation in that direction. Is it necessary to have several members as part of the delegation? Let's start with we will start with Grace, and then we will go to Johnny. Then we'll end with Chuchu, and we'll go to the next discussion point.
For me, I like I said the other day, I think we questioned it a little bit that the right now the state of the government, the state of the country, you would think that the government would really lower, their travel, the people that travel with them, with anything that they do in the country as a whole. that they would just be very, very, mindful of the suffering in the country, the poverty crisis, to make sure they limit certain things that they do, so the rest of the funding or whatsoever they have to put toward that particular activity will go to development of the country, and will go to the way will go to helping the people in healthcare care sector, in infrastructure, in education, especially healthcare, especially when in this day and age, women are still dying in Liberia from childbirth for common reasons. I have my niece just lost her baby because they did not know, people with their own negative blood have to take rogaine shots, and they did not give it to her on time. She lost her almost 8 months old baby. She had the baby dying in her stomach. So all those little things are a necessity for the country. But instead of then limiting the expenditure on travels and all the other things, they are just taking more people to go with them wherever they're going. And some of these people, they don't even have to be in the number for the kind of activity that they are going to attend. They don't even need to be there. So you have to have priorities as a government, putting in place things, people, and ways to make sure that you limit spending. Your expenditure, your budget should be cut short for these things, so you can or try to use that money in other aspects, in other areas that the country is really suffering in. And that's why it makes me sad with this government when it comes to that. And one of the things I noticed, I know it's not part of it, but the president, I like, he's a soft-speaking guy, and I said it the other day, everybody knew that. And I think he speaks well when he goes to these functions because he's understandable and he takes his own time. That's his style. But one of the things I don't like is his posture when he's taking pictures. He's too in like submission. I was just discussing that with my friend before I had it today, and she and myself were talking about it. And we said that his postures is just too much in submission. Like he stands and put his hand in front of him, like when we were little children, when we not do something by the car, say, Kanye. Then we'll go there, we stand up, then we put our hands in. The next time you do that thing, he just like he's too limited when it comes to his posture as a president. I think that the people surrounding him should help him to be able to stand more to look presidential. That is taking away from him. He's too in submission, and like his submission makes him look like it's a low self-esteem issue. And I see the foreign minister also start to stand up and take pictures like him. Leaders don't stand to take pictures like that. You have to stand as a leader. Your posture, the way in which you turn. You see all the leaders standing their hands aside, on the left side, on the right side. They are not putting their hand in front of them like in submission, like, oh, yeah, me, yeah. It looked kind of funny to me. So I just want to bring that up. I want to hear me and try to change that, because for you to be a president, you have to be able to, certain things you have to do differently. And that's the beauty of president, the president. People got to tell when you reach it, this is how you have to act, this is what you got to do. Even when we're going for interview, people tell us, you go to interview, you have to make sure you eyeball the person who's interviewing, you look straight in the eye. So you need to teach the president these little things. And then before I close, I would just say, the first lady is missing. For some reason, we are not hearing anything about the first lady. She's not doing anything really substantial. She's not engaging the people. She's not engaging women. We don't see anything for activity. I don't know whether you people are seeing it, but the office is missing, and we need the office to come back and to start doing something for the country and for the people. Thank you.
So, Johnny, let's get your reaction to the number of delegates that are on these things. And this is not something that is unique to the Boycott-led government, but often we are yet to get any kind of return on the investment. They bring hundreds of members, delegates members to attend these events. Unfortunately, they only come home with what was given to them, their per diems. Okay, we tend to fight to even notice what we are supposed to get. So what is your reaction to this whole 300 or 3,000 delegation to one UNGA, and then everybody come, they just gallivanting the various cities and states, visiting family and friends, and at the end of the day, they take nothing back to the country.
So let me say thank you and Grace. I will just start from where Grace was. So, you know, everyone that goes to the kind of conferences go with a set agenda. Go with an agenda, meaning that look, the thing is the leader, like President Boakai, he took over. This is the first big meeting to attend, big international conference to attend. I would have thought that he would have called for a briefing meeting. All of those that are selected by the foreign ministry or by what means that will go on a trip, have a briefing meeting. What are we going to do? Let's set an agenda. Then do a profile check of those that are going to the meeting from other countries and other places. We are going to spend 3 or 4, 5 days there. I will be giving my speech for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Who's going to let me do a complete lay down task? Because you are going to take advantage of this this conference to ensure that when you come back, you evaluate your visit. What did we achieve? Where did we go right? Did we make new friends, new contacts that we can maybe follow up on the next 2-3 months to get the result? Because you are going to sell your country in so many manner and form. First, you're going to deliver a speech at the General Assembly. What kind of speech do you want to deliver? Is where is the universal condition of the world? Where are we today with the world when it comes to global peace and stability? What role can you play as Liberia in the global community? You come regional, West Africa. What is Liberia condition right now in West Africa? Where are we comparing us with Cote d'Ivoire, with Guinea and Sierra Leone, within the sub-region of Mana River Union? So you gotta break your presentation down in a way that when you speak, you speak to those issues, and your delegation comprised of individuals that will be responsible to engage with other people at the conference. So I really don't know how to deal it, but I would have thought that when you do that, then you know how many persons you're taking on the delegation. So currently, we don't know how many. I don't know how many persons on the delegation, and what is their specific role that they come to play on the delegation. Some people came ahead of him, some people came after him, and some people came along with him. But what is their specific duty on the mission? You understand? Because you also have a crisis of your own economy is not too strong. You don't have enough money to do other things. You got so many competing priorities on you as a president or as a government. Like Grace said, the health sector, the educational sector, like you said, the infrastructure, energy, road, water, So you have to know how to spend your money. How much money you're putting in and how much you will get out. So I really hope if they didn't do that, I think we should try going forward to other conferences and meetings. Let's begin to look at it. Because example, we went to a South Korean meeting. Up and now, I really don't know how much you got from there, how much you put in there, who got from South Korea meeting. We just attended the Chinese meeting. We still don't know exactly what is the result of Chinese meeting. Personally, I don't know exactly. We heard that there will be a $3 billion investment in Liberia. But I know that during Madam Sarita, we had $2.6 billion investment. We still know where that's China Union. China Union was $2.6 billion investment, and we celebrated that. We thought it would have created thousands of jobs in Liberia, in Pond Mines or in Pond County or in the central region of Liberia. We don't see that happening. So I still don't know exactly what we got out of China visit. Now, the next bigger visit we're having now is the UN. So if we didn't learn from the South Korean visit and we didn't learn from the Chinese visit, then we are here in UN. I hear people saying the 30%, the 50%, but I don't know how many persons came. But my advice would have been is let's sit down and hold a briefing meeting and decide who going, what will be the task, and when we return to Monrovia, everybody provide briefing on what you do. Even right in the US, they will have deep briefing meeting every day. Where are we? What do we do? Mr. Foreign Minister, you came. Who are you about Foreign Ministry? What's their role? If people came from finance, what did they do? If we brought delegation from Border West, what did they do? If we brought people from the legislature, what did they do? People need to give account of the taxpayer money. But because we don't have a culture of respecting the taxpayer and their money, so we just draw up any kind of thing to go anywhere and we'll come back, we don't give account. But I'm very hoping that when they come back from this meeting, they will give an account to Liberian people in a way that will be satisfied and we appreciate the governance system of Liberia. So I think and let me start here and allow my colleagues to make inputs.
Thank you. Alex, let's hear from you, and then Pewee, welcome to the show. Thank you for being a part of the conversation this evening. Alex, let's hear from you. Your reaction to what one would describe as wasteful spending.
You know, Pewee saw me on the show, so he had a wrong who would have come to come on the show. I'm glad you're Pewee. But look, it's a waste of time. Okay, there's nothing going to be achieved. Liberia is very insignificant when it comes to any global initiative or any global respect. I'd rather the government take that money and put it into education and health, and let the ambassador or you got the foreign minister do that trip, and you could save hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what a Boga year or year, nobody will even remember him by the end of this week as being at the UN meeting. So I don't think anything hopeful will come from it. We already heard the speech. Nothing's going to come from it. So we can keep hoping. It's just a ceremonious thing. Liberian president loves to travel. You even got airline to travel on. You're begging people for airplane. You're riding other country carrier, and you feel proud to jump on it every 2 seconds to go to China, to go to the other place. Any country wants to give you loan or money, president don't have to be there. There's something called telephone, fax, and internet. Okay? When you see a president going somewhere, it's not necessary. Okay? Then, where the days where presidents used to meet in person were during wartime, so that people can't hack the phone line, or they wouldn't have encryption and things like that. Joe Biden, how many countries does he travel to in a year's time? So I don't buy it. It's a waste of money. Liberia doesn't have the money, and they should be focusing them much less traveling with all the useless people behind him. I say useless. What are the purpose? What are they there for? What are they going to achieve? You have a country that, right now broke. They're running to the IMF for money to build them out, which you're going to take and just pay themselves. You don't have any development. You haven't come on. So 19% of your promises. The asset recovery thing is a flop. The road thing is a flop. So what are you going anywhere to do? So it's just disappointing, and we're not going to get anything out of this man. And we that's good enough if we even got in the power to control the Liberian people, that Joseph Boakai is not anyone that bring one development. In fact, you'll be worse. It must start. Look at it. Must start. Look at all the missteps, the drug situation that they made a lot of noise on. They even got a director here, permanent director. What does it take to employ somebody for the job if it's not important? You talk about a university. I hear my brother them talking. This person went to the Liberian University and a good student. Listen, let's not kid ourselves here. University of Liberia is a poorly run school. No academic institution or magazine recognized University of Liberia as a standardized international school. I'm not saying people shouldn't go there. You got to work what you have. You got to go there if you don't have any place else. Well, Ellen Johnson said he's not going to send her grandchildren there or her children there. Joseph Boakai didn't send his children there. So don't come make light. Don't make a mockery of the people who can afford to send children to other private school or abroad. Then you can't see that. Oh, wasn't one there a good student. That's why all of them left from there. They got to come back here and go to school again.
There's a sign in the back, Chuchu. Somebody,
No, I don't think it's mine.
This is mute ourselves.
Yeah. So, let's start kidding ourselves. Let me end on this point. Liberia was able to get a pitiful $200 million IMF bailout, and your finance minister was rejoicing. In fact, his exact word was, he's elated.
We'll get to that point. I want that is a separate discussion topic. We'll get into that.
The UN thing is a flop. It's a waste of money, and nothing going to come out of it.
Okay.
In fact, Nigerian president didn't even go to tell you.
Okay. So let's welcome Sylvester. And since Grace is going to take us from here Sylvester's going to respond to the question about the number of delegates who came for the UNGA. And then since Grace is gonna take over from here, and I'll be right back, folks. Like I said, unfortunately, I have to run quickly, but Grace got this right, right? Okay.
This is the best host for the program. You know that.
The way she laughs there, she say, "Hey, the poor business."
Welcome, Sylvester. Go ahead and speak your mind.
Thank you. Before quickly, Chuchu, let me say this to you. I will not time to time be responding to things you will say. That's why I was even driving. I didn't have the time when I was seeing the messages about the University of Liberia. Sometimes that is quite unfortunate. Let me say this to you, my brother. And the reason why I would say this briefly about the University of Liberia, I agree the University of Liberia is seriously challenged in terms of some major support. But the University of Liberia have prepared men and women of our country today that left the country and doing very well out. Now, you just said something that's the reason why they leave. Now, everywhere in Africa and even in the US here, people leave from here to go to England to school and do other higher education there. It doesn't mean the system here is not good. People now, we leave from Liberia to come here. For instance, I was privileged to have come here to school, and I came up there extremely well. If the university you condemn prepared me to come here, and when I'm in the system here, I was exceptional in terms of performance and the rest of that. So I would love to pay homage to the University of Liberia. The University of Liberia is still preparing competent men and women. Now, I'm not saying there's no problem there. There's some huge challenge of the University of Liberia, but to come outrightly and condemn the University of Liberia, I'm a product of that institution, a proud product of that institution. And I think part of the training we went through, and one of the greater philosophers that I believe in said, it's not the institution you went through, it's the mind, the way you got educated, right? So it's a process. Joining the base sitting there, it's a proud product of the University of Liberia, basically. So I wouldn't sit here and allow you spirit up gibberish about our institution, the institution that prepared us. And you come and sit and say that kind of a thing. It's unfortunate. On a serious note, if you and myself were to go and sit where they would get your flying sheet and say, "Oh, take test. University of Liberia product, and where you from Harbour, right? I will beat you the pole, come look for you all over the place, right? So we don't want to go there on that kind of line. So I just really wanted to say that to you. Say they got some problem, but don't condemn the university. If anything sent her children there, my mom and my pa sent me there, and I'm proud why they have to send me there. So thank you for that. Now, we all agree in general terms that the Liberian government, basically our country size and our country economy and the level that is unfolding in the country, we don't need a very huge delegation to come to the United Nations. And I wouldn't bite my tongue on that to say, hey, there's a need that sometimes we soften the ground in terms of, we'll be a little bit more in terms of how we want to structure our delegation in spending money and the rest of that. But it's also key, maybe as you were saying, there's always a briefing note ahead of the conference, right? The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the mission, our permanent mission in New York, we informed, we give the entire rendezvous of the program indicators and all of those level of participation of our government. We inform the foreign ministry and the ministry, we inform other institutions that need to participate into the General Assembly. We have 6 major committees. And those committees, and there's a need for representation as serious. No, I would not say that a government, there's no government that will bring less than. Now, don't be like the poor government. If you bring it around maybe 30 to 50%, these are the poor government. But big government, when it comes in this place, is huge. It's very huge. Now, so those different committees, you need people to do our representation, including the staff, because the staff at the permanent mission, we didn't cover everything. Now, in terms of the dedication, the president will always come with his technical team. Now, the security will be included with the president delegation. The foreign ministry will come with a very small strategic team also. And this current minister, I think, travel with I think 4, 5, 6 assistant ministers. Now, and these assistant ministers, for instance, the assistant minister of American Affairs will have to be that's the assistant minister of region. The assistant minister for international organization that is dealing directly with the UN and other issues will have to be here. The assistant minister of foreign affairs will also be part of the delegation. And sometimes the assistant minister for public affairs also, the role that I play, will also be part of the delegation. And other institutions, and the health ministry, the health ministry will have to come. The WHO is an organ of the UN, will have to be deliberating also on some pivotal issues that concerns our health class and sector in the country, right? So major other institutions of a government, we have to be represented. The Ministry of Finance, we have to come. We have to talk about the Ministry of Finance will be represented. Now, this period stretched up from this time up to December. There'll be different meetings in terms of the system, the silence meetings, and the major thing about the United Nations process is also the silence meeting, right? What we refer to as the meeting they're going to have on the fringes of the UN. So those deliberations, but I do agree that we do not need to exceed certain number as a country where we're struggling in terms of seeking support from most of those people we also call. I agree to that. But despite of that, just say we normally say in our countries, local finance, local finance in Liberia, say not because Myean, yeah, we want to do that. So I know we poor, but we can enjoy too, right? We have to do our not enjoyment in represent, but we have to represent our people, right? So there's need to be involved. And I agree with quickly what you said, Nigbe, about this process about the briefing note. Yeah, there's adequate briefing note, there's programming note to this process. That the permanent mission will inform the foreign ministry, and the ministry will duly inform other institutions. And there's a particular, and we will act according to the theme of the General Assembly, for instance. So time to time, there's different line. Even all of the president's silent meetings, if he will engage in any, there will be briefing notes to the president as to where the president talked about and speak to, and the rest of that. So it's important that we note here. But I agree in principle that we need to also, as people, minimize our costs and take effective and decision that will move on reducing poverty on our people and building more health sector and schools to allow. I mean, support the very University of Liberia to try to denigrate now in a way, manner he's saying it. So, I mean, that's my perspective on that. I thought we should reduce it, but we need to also get some representation.
Thank you, Sylvester. Chuchu, I will give you like maybe 1 minute to respond because Sylvester called your name.
Thank you, Chris. You're the best. Okay. So I will repeat here again. When you say Sylvester's a product of the University of Liberia, he's right. And that's why you have the system you have in Liberia. That's why you have all the corruption, no check and balance, no improvement of health, no improvement of education. Again, I'm not taking this personal on anybody who go into the university. Like I said, if that's all you have, your government can provide you, you have to go to school somehow. Okay, but that doesn't mean it's adequate. And I applaud teachers who even teach at the University of Liberia. I don't know how they do it, with no computers, with no software, none of these things. So here has all of them, but it's a poorly run school. It's a garbage as a school for a country that's been around 147 years. Okay, so I've not even meant my words because the money they're taking to spend on UN and pay themselves $20,000, if they're going to take that money and put it in the University of Liberia, maybe the children will have chairs. How can you have a university where students don't have chairs? The bathroom dirty. When the bathroom dirty, then they tell you, say, oh, the school closed because the bathroom dirty. I help people at the University of Liberia, so I know what I'm talking about. And it's a shame on our government and officials who can send their children there, but then they want other poor people to go there, and then they want to pass around and say, oh, the University of Liberia is good. No, it's not. It needs more money, and it needs to be where you can send your child as a president or minister of education. And until that happens, I will always condemn it.
Thank you, Alex. I want to welcome Robert Garguah to the platform. Robert, welcome. Happy Friday. So you can just say a little bit, introduce, say something since you're just coming on.
Oh, thank you, Grace. I appreciate that. It's good to be back on. We've been locked up in our homes in Georgia with the Hurricane Helena thing going on. So far, 15 deaths in Buckhead, which is the central part of the city. Where I work, 15 deaths, including a 4-year and a 7-year-old. So a lot of flooding going on in that area. But thank God, things have been smooth on our side, with the exception of the high wind and the fear of trees and stuff like that. But all is well, man. So it's good to be back on.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I mean, that's the sacrifice Somebody
Yeah.
please mute your phone. Somebody phone is hearing my. That's the sacrifice, for you to be here and that kind of thing happening in Georgia is I don't know, because one of the things I'm really afraid of is flooding. People think, fire, I'm afraid, but flooding, I can't imagine myself. I've been trying to learn how to swim for the longest because I don't like being underwater and stuff like that. But I can swim though. I learned already. But thank you for being here. I can't. I'm gonna be in North Carolina next weekend. So I don't know whether the hurricane is on that end as well, because most of the times I don't know. I will look it out, but I'm supposed to be there next weekend.
Yeah, by then it should be. I think by then it should be done. Hopefully by tomorrow things will kind of start getting back to some normality out here. But hopefully definitely by next week it should be done. I was
Yeah.
supposed to go and see Johnny and everything, but this weather has messed that up. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully I get to see him before he goes. But always well, man.
Yeah, that's nice. But both of you gonna take back, or you want me to continue?
So, so Grace,
Yeah.
yeah, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the university business because
Okay. Oh, you want to tell me on the
yeah,
university, then Robert will
yeah,
come.
just like maybe in 2 or 3 minutes, because that university, I like to appreciate the university so well because, like Chuchu said, that's
But
what we have.
Johnny, before you come in, I don't think, but I don't know about Chuchu can speak for himself.
No, I want to
But
say mine.
what Chuchu is talking about, kind of understand, is that we're not looking back at when you guys attended the university.
No, I'm not speaking back at Chuchu at all. I'm not
Yeah.
speaking back at Chuchu at all. I'm just trying to say something about the university.
Okay.
In as much as it is what we have to do everything, let me tell you an example. When I left Bontown High School, I came to University of Liberia. And Bontown High School, it was a very, very sophisticated high school because it was sponsored by the Germans in Port Mines. I mean, we had equipped laboratory of all kinds. And there was nothing in the chemistry book that we didn't experiment to the extent, right? So imagine I entered the University of Liberia 1990 and I went to my physical science class. And we were doing heat measurement. That was a physics class of physical science. And in the lab, they brought copper. They brought a copper, small copper, so you can do heat measurement to know atmospheric pressure and the rest of it. And I was looking, I said, well, what are we doing here? I have left from Bontown High School, a modern equipped laboratory with Bunsen burner, with flat bottom flags, with test tubes, with everything that we can use. So I came to my University of Liberia, and my first class, I went to the physical science class to do an experiment was using copper. So just to say that the university is doing well to raise people, but I think the government and the managers of the university need to rethink and improve the university. It's very important. Like the umbrella people say, yeah, we went there, we saw the challenges, but we struggled our way out to prepare ourselves. You understand? Because we had an interest. People might say to me, most time on the TH building discussing, politics, the various sciences and things. But frankly speaking, we need to make sure that our government made UL autonomous. UL should be free of politics, and we raise money to make that place better. Because, like Chusman was saying, right? If it's not counting the best universities in West Africa, we are somewhere down the line. And when they're counting us, they're not counting based on us that went to the school and make effort outside in the world. They're counting what you have there. What are you, what is the level of your professors? What do you have? All the things they're counting, but we try our best. Because they'll tell you, how can you be a BSc student to teach BSc people to learn BSc? How can you be a master degree holder to teach graduate school? Look at the way I am doing my lecture. Even though that as an advanced community within an advanced country like USA and Canada, I mean, I go in the classroom, I'm looking around like, is this a classroom? The classroom is so friendly. You understand? But I'm just saying that to support what people say and Chuchu has the point. Chuchu is speaking as a patriotic person that wants to do the best for his country. So I agree, UL is trying their best, but we need to do better with UL. Seriously, we need to do better with UL.
Chris, I'd like to
chime in quickly. But
yeah.
I know you talk about the infrastructure and everything. Because I remember I took the early entrance and I passed in I think 1994 or 5 like that. I was so excited. And I went to one class before I left Liberia in 1996 for the Roosevelt Johnson kind of what I came through. But even when I went to the class, I was so discouraged at that point in time. and there was no seat to sit in, and all that kind of stuff. So I understand the infrastructure and the materials and the things that they need in school, but also look at the teachers that are teaching at school. Most of them they don't have the credentials to be university teachers. So that's why one of the university dean came on Facebook. He made a Facebook live. If I share in the chat room today, and it's sad. So the university need real overhaul for that university to come back with the prestige that it had before. They have to make sure they go into deep diving or conversations and how to change that university and bring in the proper teachers that will actually teach the children, the next generation of leaders in the country. But right now,
Right.
the university have failed the country, they failed the people. Everybody graduated from university, someone they can't even write a freaking letter. That's
And good. Let me just chime in here quickly with the issue of the university. Right, going forward, it baffles me to see that we continue to point to past glories. We are in the 21st century. Ghana, Ivory Coast, and other neighboring countries, they are investing in quality education. Okay, they are moving forward. We continue to retrogress. And we want to highlight the glorious days as compared to us focusing on how we can, better things so that we can compete. Going forward, nobody cares. It's about the output going forward. The likes of Pewee and other people who graduated, bravo to you guys. You are representing yourselves. Okay? You are highlighting what you learned from those instructors who may have been able to do due diligence. They may have been qualified. But, and I close on this note, if Harvard University was to fall short of the quality of output that the world know her for, you should see the level of scrutiny that she will undergo. I know people say all the time, oh, we can't compare Harvard to, no, you can do it. If you're sincerely about competing and actually winning what you want to win, you want quality, let's compete with the biggest dogs in the room. Back then when we were young, it was often said to say, if you want to protect yourself, there was a saying that if you wanted to protect yourself and you had to go to jail, pick fight with the biggest guy in the room, so that if he whoop you when you come out, everybody else will respect you and say, you know what, man, this dude is brave enough to stand up to this big guy. If we ever try to go at him, he's going to stand up. They will see how brave you are. So let us compete with the big dogs in the room. Let us go for those institutions that we can compete with and put out the best and the brightest. That's my view here. I don't shy away from it because somebody probably have what it is. I think we could do better, and let us hold ourselves accountable.
So, Robert, you can come in now, Robert, and just we talk about Joseph Boakai, his travel, and the amount of people that he have behind him. What the accomplishment. Johnny spoke about. He wants them to be able to tell the country, give information on their travel, what they accomplished, and I think that they should even be sending information to the news media, like this kind of platform, for us to tell it, and also the university can chime in on that, Robert.
Thank you. Well, the travel to the United Nations, I think, is one that we expected the president to do, to participate. I listened to the speech, and to be honest with you, I did not get much of what the presentation, the advocacy was. I know he spoke about climate change. He spoke about investing in alternative sector, and on the foreign policy end, he called for peace in the Middle East with a two-state solution, and that's that, right? I did not really hear any policy statement that has been implemented or enforced in Liberia as a way to set the tone in his new administration. I did not hear any of that, be it action he's taking to fight corruption, be it action his government has taken early on to set the tone for economic growth. Education reform, which is talking about education. I did not hear that, and most of all, I was telling my friends that they didn't like to hear it. The delivery, for me was not impressive at all. Joseph Boakai is supposed to be a very astute, educated man, and his delivery for me, for the most part, I saw him looking down on a piece of paper constantly, instead of giving the crowd, the audience eye contact. And I saw him kind of like not sure what to say next. A few hiccup here and there, and it just made me laugh because these guys laugh at George Weah standing at the war stage and how he did not represent the country in a good way. And I'm looking at Joseph Boakai like, wow, this is not good. But look, the pops is an older guy. He's an older man. We expect that. But the delivery was poor. But most importantly, it lacked substance. I expected him to talk about some policy approach that his government has taken to set the tone with regards to how Joseph Boakai intends to run his government, differently from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and the previous administration. That's all I expect with regards to all of the different sideline meetings here and there. Look, I don't think that the president have to return to the airport for the country to know some of the successes, right? For the country to know some details as it relates to these meetings and what is in it for the Liberian people. I think that's old school. This is the 21st century. They should have a media team outside of just the executive mansion Facebook page that will brief the country every day. If it's 5 minutes, go on live, brief the country on what the president day-to-day affairs or activities at the UN are. Talk to the country. Today, the president met he spoke at the luncheon of Liberia seat at the Security Council, right? Talk about that and what that actually means, right? And the progress that has been made. We should know about these things without asking about them, or without the president returning to Liberia and having a 2 minutes interaction with a journalist at the airport. But we're not getting these things. These are things that we were told they would do better, and unfortunately, they have not done so. With regards to education, look, many may not know, but I started my advocacy on education since 2009 when I first graduated with my associate degree. This was my first time going back home, and we've done a lot of work through my organization. For 10 years, everything about me was all education in Liberia. If you ask my good friend, former education minister, George Warren, George will tell you we did not always agree on a lot of different things, including the breach policy initiative in Liberia, right? And we've been saying from day one, we're talking about university. We've got to set the foundation. The foundation is not the University of Liberia necessarily. The foundation is in kindergarten and preschool, and what kind of investment we're making with the educational foundation of our students. The reason why you see these kids are not doing so well in these major national and regional exams is because they have not had a great foundation. To be honest with you, a lot of you guys that are graduating and attending the University of Liberia, Cottington universities and other universities, who's to tell that they're not graduating based on who they know or what they've given or what they don't have the kind of foundation we require to go out there and be successful. And that's just the reality. And so I think that education reform should start with the foundation, the elementary, preschool, kindergarten, and then high school. And then you go to You go to the universities and our colleges. This is where we've got to start. But we have got to change our entire curriculum that will reflect 21st century. Why do we have all of these classes that we have, even in our high school right now, even in colleges? Why do we have classes and recreation classes that we may not even need in our professional lives? We are still reading books that we read, our fathers read many 50, 60 years ago. All of these books are outdated. We do not have a major public library in our country right now. And these are some things that my organization and others addressed. We do not have a major public library in our country. There's a lot that needs to be done with our educational system. And I gotta say, this does not begin with Joseph Boakar's administration. This is an issue that the Ellen-led government and the former president Guar did not adequately address. And what is this government doing about it? What educational policy that we've seen so far? Yeah, they changed the education minister, but Grace, maybe you can help me out. What have they done? How many more months? I saw that the education minister was doing a tour recently, I think 2-3 months ago. Have we gotten a report on what that was about and what steps have been taken to address some of these issues? Until we do this, we will continue to have performing teachers in our classroom. And I'll tell you this. I have visited some of these classes. I have visited some. We have over 21 schools where over 500 or 600 of our students attend. We visited those schools. There were times I went to Liberia for a whole month just to go and see those schools, see the needs of those schools, the needs of those teachers. And these communities are just they're managing. They're managing these. They don't have the money to pay qualified teachers. And so whoever is available, whether it's high school graduate or semi-college graduate, they will take them in these high schools. But are they qualified per the educational system in our country? We have a long way to go. We have a lot to do. This is why it's important to elect intentional leaders, visionary leaders, people who have plans to address this issue one at a time. And until we do that, man, look, we'll continue to discuss this matter.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. And I understand you talk about the foundation. Yes, that is a part of it, the foundation. But they have some very good elementary and junior high schools in Liberia, to tell you the truth. But they have some very rotten ones. And then when they get to the University of Liberia, that's when you see the split happens. You know, some of the children are there really studying, but the teachers are not delivering. And going to a university 4 years is no joke. All of us on this platform should know it in America. You have to really go there to actually want to learn. It's not easy to even get 3.0, 3.1. And we want our university to be structured in that way. So even the children that have the real foundation from the schools, because I dealt with some some primary schools in Liberia, and you can tell that the people really teaching the children, but then when they hit high school, then it drops. That's when all these play for play, sex for praise, and it drops. And the children are not distracted. So they really need to do something. But I don't know if somebody else have anything to say about the education, then we can move on to another topic.
I think we should move on to the next topic. Then we can open up the phone line to get the people's reaction to this. The number of delegates that travel out of Liberia, considering the current state of the nation, where people are still dying from curable diseases, and members are still traveling from one place to another. I think we should do that. Get to the next topic.
Okay, let's get to the next topic. I wanted to talk quickly on. I have two things to talk on, so you can just chip me on those two things. One of the things is that for Army Modad, this whole commerce ministry with this purchase of the car, we little bit talk about it last Wednesday, but we never really, put our foot down on everybody who feel some kind of way, or maybe they feel that it was right or what he did. So I want to talk about that, and personally, I don't think that the car was necessary to be bought. And I know they have Dr. Jala in this whole thing. Some people calling for them to fire the both of them, or they should resign. I feel that Dr. Jala had nothing to do with the purchase of the car, because ARA is just to you send your your information about the ministry. I don't know how it works. Maybe how they call him, Kehleboe will come in on that part and talk about how Togar Jala will play into this whole thing. I want to discuss that. I also want to discuss Musa Bilete, his resignation from that how they call the party, Liberty Party. He sent in his resignation from the party. I wanted to see, hear your take on it. Do you think that that party will continue, or is the party dead after this? And we can discuss that. So I will, Kehleboe, I was just about to for you to come in since you realize and you put yourself. I want you to start with the Togar Jala matter. What do you think that Togar Jala, but Ami Modad and Togar Jala connection with this whole thing? How does it work with the LRA?
Unfortunately, I'm going to disappoint you and the listeners.
Yeah, but how does it work with the LRA being a part of this whole thing? Because if the LRA was the entity that was supposed to give the funding of for the ministry to purchase the vehicle for operations, are we to get the connection and how it works so people can understand?
Yeah, I think I'll comment on that. But what drew me tonight here, I told you guys, I'm busy with some kind of boot camp, so I was not going to join this. But the education thing is close to my heart because I'm an educator. Since 1992, I started to teach in the Republic of Liberia. I started teaching at the Wooden VS Tomalin High School, the NCSS teacher, school system, and I taught mathematics at Wooden VS High School. I've been in classroom.
Kehleboe, don't take us back, man.
No,
We already passed that part of it.
I'm going to be very quick. There is a danger when, even if you're a Christian, you know that in the Bible, there is a story of Jesus trying to heal the blind man. When the person touched Jesus' garment and Jesus asked him, do you see? He said, I see a little bit of shadow. He was seeing shadow for the first time in his life. Jesus would have said, that's okay. You can, I'll leave you regain your sight. But Jesus wanted him to gain the full sight because he knew that a half-blind man who can only see shadow was dangerous to society. So when we discuss issues that we may not have a full insight of, we may leave society and it's dangerous. That's why I'm here to talk briefly about. Because the thing that happened to education in Liberia, we need to be very clear on that. It did not just start with Georgia or Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. It is an old age problem. That gradual decline has been coming. Our population has been growing, but government has not been investing in education. I always use Monrovia as an example. The NCSS school system, that is the largest public school system in Monrovia. For the past 50 years, NCSS has only been losing school buildings. They have not been building new school buildings. Monrovia Central High is no more. And some people on this platform may remember there was a school called Monrovia Central High, which was catering to residents in Central Monrovia who were high school students. We lost that. MCSA has not built a new building. Boswen used to be, Newport used to be junior high, but they have to elevate it to high school. That means they have to reduce the number of students that can come to middle school there. Gibson used to be a middle school. They have to carry to high school. They have to reduce the number of students that can come. But there is no new public school in Central Monrovia to cater to those, right? So if you see that picture, both at the macro and micro level, you can understand why even private schools are exploiting poor people in the country. But it's a grand design by our leaders because an ill-informed lead or country is a country that you can easily leave. So politicians have been making a calculated investment or in disinvestment in education so they can reap it. That's why we keep electing unprepared people in Liberia. It's by design, it's not by mistake.
Did you say exploiting though?
Yes. But Robert, there's no dispute about that.
Yeah, but it's private schools. I mean, it's a private institution have the right to invest however they want to invest. I think we should direct our frustration with the government and a lack of support for public schools.
Okay, we're not going to take a long time on education, so I don't want to debate this with you. I'll let you hold our opinion because we have to move to this LRA and commerce issue. But I will.
Yeah, please do.
Hold on to that. So the thing is, I just wanted to let you know, at the University of Liberia, I heard some people saying they are using Kehleboe Gongloe. As of, I believe, May or April, that was the last time I taught at the university, 2019. That was the last time I taught at the University of Liberia. And when I came back here in the US, the department, the math department, because I have written the undergraduate program, the curriculum for statistics, for the first time since 1847, Liberia was just starting bachelor degree in pure statistics. I wrote that, I drafted our curriculum. They asked me to teach one of the courses. I agreed, online. I have 23 students in my class, and only 2 students could show up. They said they didn't have data. So I wrote the chairman, Michael. I said, hey, Michael Bonda, I can teach. I've been here 2 weeks in the class, only 2 students. I put the syllable online. I downloaded a textbook. I put it there so they can see it. And only 2 students. I said, I can teach. So I withdrew from the course. But the thing is not that they're using archaic textbook in LU. Even USAID, they invested a lot in science and engineering. The Center for Excellence in Higher Education, they have laboratory in the engineering building, the painted. But it's the problem befitting the university is part of the larger disinvestment in education by the government of Liberia historically. Okay? If you go to the science building, you see the Buddha mat still. In 2019, I was teaching there. I was still going in that building, standing there because I was there in the 80s. The Buddha mats are there. They've done nothing. Okay? But every visitor that comes, every university president would go there and say, oh, the war, these are the impact of the war. They use that to raise funds, but they never fix it. So Liberia is a technique, there's a former musician in Liberia, he sang the song Liberia Technique. So they don't fix it, but they use that to raise money. And that's it. Look at Chinese building. The Chinese, something that the country has money, they have to go to Chinese. Do you know that even the furniture that students sit on in the Chinese building, they went to the Chinese government to ask them for the furniture? And the Chinese ambassador, I knew him at the time, he said to me, Gongloe, when we buy furniture and send to Liberia, we are creating job in China and not creating job in Liberia. Why the government can use their timber to fix the furniture and no create job here? He told me this. But they have to do it because that's what the government wanted. The government is interested in free gifts. Okay, but it's a different story. On the commerce and the ARA thing, I think Mr. Double Jala, I like to have institutional approach. The ARA wrote a press release clarifying that rule. I think it's very clear. It lays out the issue as it should do. That Commerce Ministry, I can share, I think I promised to share this in the chat room. I'm going to put it in the chat room. Commerce Ministry basically asked to purchase vehicles because revenue mobilization in any country, maybe Chuku Jones, Alex will comment on this, is not like a one-stop point. Even here in the US, when you apply for your green card, you pay money. That money you pay into immigration. The check is made payable to them. It's revenue for the government of the United States. So, but they are not, it's not IRS or that agency responsible for revenue that is sitting there. No. So the same way in Liberia, you go to Labor Ministry, you pay work permit fee. But ARS staff and employees are not at Labor Ministry. You go to Transport Ministry, one of the biggest. You pay licenses, license fee for drivers, for everything at transport, and a movable thing. But ARA doesn't have a window there. Is Transport Ministry that are going through their procedure and approving who can get driver license, who they set the fee, they do everything. What ARA does all of the time is they fund these agencies that have revenue collection rule. That particular activities within that section, you'll always go there. Computer breakdown is okay, we'll buy it because you are using a computer to collect revenues that coming that is being reported to us. It's going to consolidate the account and we are reporting. So they do that. Like the tax code of Liberia, the tax code, ARA buys laptops, furniture, air condition, everything. Even though it's under the judiciary, the only thing they don't do, they don't pay the employees, but they form everything. They tax a Pewee, ARA fund all these activities. The only thing they don't pay their salary, but in terms of office supply,
Okay, my question to you was that were you to connect and disconnect Toba Jala from this purchase that were made in Commerce Ministry by Modal? I want you to disconnect and disconnect it in a way that was that money sent to buy one vehicle from LRA, or was it sent to buy a couple of vehicles for the operation? That's my question.
No, it was Commerce Ministry request to LRA, which is also in our response, is very clear. A request for LRA to buy vehicles.
Okay.
And what LRA did was to pay the 96,000, which in our judgment was going to buy 2 or 3 vehicles for Commerce, because at Commerce Ministry there are two key activities. One is the RPD, which the Minister Office issues a RPD. It's part of revenue generation activities. Then Commerce inspection. They go out there to do whole lot of other stuff. And it's also linked to custom, what custom and all LRA inspectors.
So what you're saying is that the money was sent, LRA sent that
Grace, let me post this in the chat room.
To buy vehicles, and then Modal choose to buy one vehicle, which is $96,000 for himself. So then I will let people come in.
Grace, the correction we want to make here.
I'd like to, Johnny, before you come in, let me end on this. And I'd like to add a funny part there. And I'd like to be very clear. I don't intend to make fun out of, okay, let me not do that because I'm in the US. So I don't need to make fun out of somebody about his size. I'll leave it. But the whole thing is, somewhere.
You can say what you want to say.
No, I'm a teacher. I know. We can't make fun out of people. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah. It's unethical to do that. I was just
so quickly before you end, 1 minute. What do you think about Honorable Bealded?
Someone said what now?
For the Liberty Party.
I think Bealded did the right thing.
But Kehleboe getting plenty time. You should get what time too.
No, I just I
can actually stop now. Robert, at your request, I can stop.
30 seconds.
You are the most honorable man. I can stop. I saw you dancing last night on Facebook. I didn't know you can dance. So I can stop. I salute you.
Yeah, but Grace, I want to make one correction quick, Grace. There's a small correction I wanted to make. Maybe people do will make. I don't think it is the LRA that gave money to Commerce to buy vehicles. I think Commerce wanted LRA to give them, I think, duty free, because Commerce has a budget to do. LRA doesn't raise money and get you to say do this. When they raise money and go to the, I think, central bank or financial ministry, they manage it. So what really happened is that LRA wanted to buy a vehicle. Commerce wanted a vehicle, and LRA is responsible for duty free. So that's why I think the LRA provided them the duty free opportunity somewhere around May or June. And they said we want to buy vehicles for the government operations at the Ministry of Commerce. That's why it's stated in the press release from the LRA. So you got to make it clear that LRA did not give money to Commerce. LRA gave them the opportunity to bring vehicles in on duty free, so they won't pay tax to LRA. Thank you.
So that money that was,
but that was not what the letter said. That was not what the exchange said.
Pewee, can you come in on this, and then Chichu will come in.
Yes. So the money that they used to buy the vehicle under $90,000+ or so, I can't really catch the total amount. That money did not come from LRA corporate directly. No. Now, where the mistake came from was when the Commerce Minister requested. Now, as Johnny was trying to say just on that, Medtex. There's like before when the BIFA were with the Ministry of Finance, something Operation BIFA would do, they would get some money for what they call it revenue facilitation or other revenue operation. So the Minister of Commerce actually requested. I think the mistake, from my perspective, from the side of the LRA was that they didn't allow the process to go through the PPCC process. They didn't allow to do that. That's where I think Mr. Jala and his team slipped a little bit. So, and that's why, and I agree with folks that said there was nothing intentional to commit fraud on the part of Mr. Jala. I do agree with that. But I think there's some level of professional slipping. They slipped somewhere. And he should have at least allowed the process to go through the PPCC process, so it will go through the bulk and it be a kind of system of them. But they just add methods and methods that they want check and bought the vehicle for the Minister of Commerce. So I think the entire saga moving around, and the minister himself should have known. The minister is where the heavyweight is. He should have known better, right? And again, where Mr. Jada will slip, I want to believe they have slipped, is where he didn't allow the process to go through the PPCC and the rest of that, and the rest of the other regulation unfolded. So this process, about the way they handle it, it was bureaucratically out of order on the part of certain institution and the commerce minister himself, because this issue passed, it's a system, right? There's an account already in. Even the late Thomas Donai opened an account, but that process, they felt that this account was illegal. Now, what of the process? Is the process that we needed to make this account a legal process now, through the way the revenue process is? If the past head of LRA did not do the requisite process, it was not followed systematically, then how come we didn't do the right thing moving forward? So yes, I think, but on the part of him, the LRA side, I don't think it was intentional corruption. It was just some level of professional slipping, and I thought I want to believe he's going to correct this moving forward.
And I think that they should do.
No.
Kehleboe, I think there should be investigation because we cannot slip.
But Great, you respond to everybody.
I want to read LRA clarification.
Well, I mean, with the level of panelists on here, I mean, if you respond to everybody, then we're not getting.
No, it's not that I'm responding to everybody so long, but I just wanted to put my input that there should be a process in government offices, in any entity, in any company. So we cannot be affording mistakes and, like they go into the House of Representatives and they forgive them. No, you have to follow the process. If you don't follow the process, you have to be investigated. So we can say it's a slip, or maybe he meant to do it. Except investigation go on, we will not know. We cannot continue to do that. Chucho, I will let you come in on this.
Okay. So let me just give my 2 cents on this. And the fact is, I know my brother, Sylvester, try to make light of everything. Everything is a slippage. Everything is, no bad intention. The fact of the matter is, this is corruption. By the textbook definition. First of all, we have a GSA, correct? GSA is the legal entity that's responsible for all government assets purchases from pencil to aircraft.
No, let him rest.
And this is me.
Let the man land.
Let me finish here. All right. Hold on here.
Gongloe, let him rest, please.
Let him land. Let him, whether he's wrong, whether he's wrong or not,
let me finish here.
Kehleboe, let the man land. Kehleboe, we gave you almost 10 minutes to address this. Let the man land.
The platform so you can talk.
Julius, can you just, no, you don't have to leave, but we just want Alex to finish what he's saying. That's the right thing to do.
But it will tell them maybe that's somebody how they can teach people at university when other people speaking and just interrupt. So the school I went to, you're not supposed to interrupt until the person is finished. All right. So I'm reading the act. Listen here. I'm reading the act that created the GSA. And I'm going to read it. It says the General Service Agency was established by an act of the National Legislature for the Republic of Liberia under Chapter 51 of the Executive Law in 1972. According to the act, the General Service Agency is charged with the responsibility to register, manage, and maintain all government of Liberia active and retained assets. A car is a government asset. For you who don't know, I'm reading from the law. So according to any real government in America, they got the same thing, GSA. They make the purchases for everything, whether it's ministry, whether it's the treasurer, or is the educational. You can't have. But what these people have done,
it's referred to as Department of Administration.
Correct. What they have done is, in order to corrupt the system, they will go out and find ways in order to collect money and purchase assets against the existing laws. So what Meta giving the money for Ministry of Commerce for vehicle or whatever, it should go to GSA. GSA should be the one that determines what kind of car needs to be purchased for what government ministry. But all the people inside here, all the so many products here, Universal abroad, they can't read what GSA means. They are responsible because they know what in fact they get discounts when you buy in bulk, they got procurements and things like that. So I remember that was just corruption to go and take money and say, oh, I need to purchase this particular car. It's corruption. But we'll try to polish it or we'll try because I be man. They were stealing. They knew exactly what they were doing. You can't tell me that if I can find a GSA Act and read it here on public radio, you want to tell me Amin Modala being like Brent government from the Investment Commission town on Ellen, he doesn't know that if the ministry needs car, they need to put that requisition in to the GSA. He doesn't know that. Then I'm disappointed at some of your educated people because don't come to me. I didn't write the act, but that's what the act said. They're responsible to maintain all government assets and purchase. Thank you.
Alex, come on, Nick. Can I respond? He come on.
No, wait, give me 30 seconds. Let's have Pewee go first. 30 seconds, brother, and then Kehleboe can come.
Yeah. So, Alex, I'm not fixing nothing here, and I understand sometimes the erratic way you handle things, and it's not. I'm very disappointed, and I think if you take it as a play thing, it's going to impact you negatively. On a serious note, you need to recalibrate your thought process in the way you engage situations. I didn't come here. I'm saying things as per what is on the book of the law, right? So the Metex issue, the Ministry of Commerce issue was the LRA process. Nothing the LRA did wrong. The only thing I say here, the process about the judgment as to the process not going through the PPCC mechanism. Now, here's what I said to you. First and foremost, the GSA does not procure a vehicle for autonomous government institutions. Let me make this clear to you. The GSA does not procure. When you see one law today from 1972 being going through, it does not procure vehicle for instance LPRC, the National Port Authority, or Social Security, and the rest of that. These are autonomous government institutions that procure their own processes and the rest of. Even the LRA is autonomous by an act of legislation. Now, I will take you back. Even the very GSA process, the guy, they need to have something they call the bulk processing scheme. When the bulk processing scheme process came on, then during the Samuel Doe government, that's the time when Charles Taylor was the head of GSA. There was this system that the government even alleged at times Mr. Taylor have told on almost $2 million that he came here, and then the former Minister of Justice, Jenkins Yakpaworu Scott, came after him here and we sued him. There was still hearing about having an extradition treaty between us and this country to have him back in the country. So ever since that process, the bulk processing scheme process went under the loop, under the water. We have not been implementing that process to say the GSA will now purchase all of government vehicles at a time. That was the intent of that process. Right. We do have some workable mechanism in place in terms of our policy issue, but our policy has been shifting. This is a country. We shifted, we changed it as per how the situation will unfold. So if you don't understand this or that, it is better you just go cap 1972 law and want to read it. You think, oh, you're not supposed to be pointed. No, you stay backstage in terms of coming up to reality as to where our governance system is and our bureaucratic policy. So the GSA does not, to conclude, does not purchase vehicle for every government.
I have a minute to respond.
I thought
okay, thank you, Pewee.
Can I respond to Mr. Pewee before?
No, let Kehleboe come in first.
Okay.
So Alex, there are some things we can disagree on. There are some things that are facts. Facts are facts. We don't disagree on issue of facts because they are given. People say a lot, but here is what I will say. That was then. The internet can be misleading sometimes. Anybody can post on the internet, but I'm sure there has been a lot of reforms on the government. So the act creating even the Ministry of Labor was revised. If you look in the old act from PRC time, they will say, and then there shall be assistant minister as possible. They don't need any assistant minister. So now, Honor L.M. Johnson Sirleaf revised that to say, oh, there will be this office, there will be this assistant minister, there will be this. So they were specific. In the case of this, Liberia moved away from all purchasing, where it's centralized purchase by GSA, because we're trying to fight corruption. So they say, okay, let's decentralize purchasing, procurement of government services. So each, like people said, each entity is responsible, because when auditors come to audit what is allocated in the budget, the entity here is held accountable. Each ministry is required to have procurement committee, to have budget and finance committee, and their procedure, sub-procedure under this in the PPCC law, that there should be evaluation committee, there should be a bid evaluation. I mean, all kind of process, right? So this is where the country is now. So that one you read, 1972, is out. But
so Kehleboe, where is the most current one that you're referencing?
I will address that. I think I said we'll go to class today.
Ellis, I'm begging you, please give me a second. Let Kehleboe address this. Where is the most current?
Let me put in the chat room. Go to ppcc .lr.gov. I think .gov or .ar, one of them. Or just Google PPCC.
I'm on the site right now. I'm asking you
website to download.
Ellis, yes, he read specifically a portion of the law. Where is the most current one that made it void? Okay, as you're referencing the fact that what he read, okay, is no longer in existence. We have something new that we are not following. Where can we obtain this new document or this new law that we are not following to have made what Alex read void?
Lofa, I think you're saying, are you trying to telescope two different things in the one? I'm talking about PPCC law here now. I said, go to PPCC website. You download the 2010 PPCC law. You see it there. The revised law. Public Procurement and Concession Commission. Go there and download it. It tells you how government purchases will be done. It's there. Okay? So, but the most substantial issue here is the LRT. I wanted to clarify because people said something which are also not in conformity to what I know. Okay? So the whole thing is LRA did not, if you go and read what LRA posted, if I could even read a section of that, they did not purchase, so they were not required to go on a PPCC process. Ministry of Commerce, according to LRA here, requested to buy vehicles because there was already a count under the 20% you're referring to from Meta contribution. So it was already there. It's written right here.
Mr. Gongloe, they were going to a government institution, so they needed to go through that process. PPCC.
No, so the ministry that was buying that
the amount, 90 plus thousand.
So it was not PPC, it was not LRA that was buying the car direct.
It was message.
No, it was Commerce Ministry that should have gone through the procurement process, not LRA.
That's what I'm saying. You should have told the Commerce Ministry to go through that process.
Can I respond to
that? You are co-equal under the executive law. You can't go to another minister and say, Minister, you must go through this. No, the minister have to know the law.
Okay, so you're not getting at least 30 seconds.
But we're not talking, yo.
Yeah, but when Ellis talk, when we talk, Ellis talk, Ellis says something, you get false man, we should move on to the next.
And this will be very quick. Let me just quick. I'll be very, very quick. First of all, the Ministry of Commerce is not an autonomous agency. As you indicated, Mr. Former Minister, you should know that it's part of the government. This purchase is not done to an autonomous agency. So it has nothing to do with autonomous agencies' procurement process. It has to do with the government procurement, which under that framework, it runs through the GSA. Secondly, the law I just quoted, it comes from your 2024 budget. So it's not an old, that's what in your current national budget. Every ministry, it tells when when the ministry was set up, agency when it was set up. Listen to me now. Let me finish. I think we're going back. Hold on, yeah. Because you just jump up.
You need to.
You're right. You just jump up. You think before I speak, I don't do my
You have
homework.
to respect me as the moderator and also as the lady on the platform. Can you just please allow Alice to talk for 30 minutes? Robert Garguah needs to come
finish.
in.
You think I just go and take laws? I don't know. And just take things from the internet.
And then Lofa has to come into on his point. So we can't just dwell on your.
Right. So that the first thing you're supposed to ask, Alice, where did you take this information from? Okay, that the first thing you should ask, where do you take the information from? That information is on your most current budget, signed by your government, your president. That's what they got. That's where I read it from. Where that says that the GSA, listen to me now, that says that your GSA is responsible to manage and maintain all government assets. And a car is an asset. It's a government asset. So you have a problem. You have a problem with that law. You're interrupting. I don't know how you guys. But
you're not in here today, man.
Okay. Second follow. Yeah. You know, they come to the show with intention or attacking me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clarify that point.
Thank you. Let me say this. At the end of the day, I think this is corruption.
Thank you, Garguah.
You go up, you come down. This is corruption. And I like the guy. I like the fact that as a private citizen, I think he invested a lot in the country, in the economy. I like that. And I like the fact that he's a rich, wealthy man. But none of that matters at this point. And it pisses me off, right, when I listen to him try to justify without adequately addressing this issue. When he talked about, he declared his asset. He talked about, having asset close to $15 million, having been worth over $8 million, owning luxury cars. Who cares? Who cares? If you were so rich and you own cars, talking about using his car for 8 months and paying for his own driver for 8 months, who cares? All of this is irrelevant to the topic here.
Thank you.
All of this is irrelevant to the topic. And so if we're going to have people who have done well in the private sector use their money and their investment, right, to steal from the Liberian people, then they should stay in the private sector. It's an insult to our intelligence for Amin to think because he owns an S-Class or C-Class Mercedes-Benz, because he owns a boat, because he owns all of this hotel, somehow means he cannot be involved into corruption, or $96,000 is such a small money that he can afford it. Well, I mean, guess what? If you could afford this, then you should have bought your own goddamn car.
Thank you.
But at the end of the day, the LRR clarified it's very clear. He requested in May, right, $96,000 for support to the Commerce Ministry. And it was interesting that they mentioned cars. That $96,000 were approved, okay? And I want to quote this, okay? In May requesting early May of 2024 for $96,000 from its custom capacity building fund under the destination inspection contract held by Medtech, okay? Blah, 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 blah. These vehicles are intended for trade-related activities in collaboration with custom. So if $96,000 were given by the LRA, it wasn't to purchase a $96,000 vehicle for Amin Modal.
Yes, right.
It wasn't for him. It was to purchase vehicle in support for the ministry. So why would you take something that could have purchased 3-4 different cars for operation purposes to buy the $96,000 car for yourself? That's corruption.
Clear corruption.
So why are we trying to sweet talk and back talk this thing? He was wrong.
Robert, I agree with you 100%.
It's $96,000. That $96,000, the question Amin must answer, was it for you to purchase cars for yourself, or was it to purchase vehicles in support of the ministry activities? And the answer is very clear. It was to purchase vehicles, not a vehicle.
Yes, vehicles.
So it's wrong. It's wrong.
It's wrong, and it's broad daylight corruption. And I should know better. And to come on radio or come on Facebook to tell us about how much money you have, how much car you have. So what? You're not the only one who drive luxury cars around here. Let's focus on the topic here. Was that money given to you to purchase a $96,000 Jeep SUV for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
No,
that is the question.
So why did you do it? So let's not sugarcoat this matter. I would say on this record, he's a good man, he's a good, great citizen, but he should be fired by the president. And if Joseph Boaga is serious about corruption, let's see what action Joseph Boaga takes. Exactly. I heard my brother Lobo try to minimize his action to a mistake. This is not a mistake. No, he knew exactly what he was doing. He requested this in May. He knew the money was coming, and he was aware about this vehicle purchase. They didn't just buy and presented it to him. He knew what was going on. And he driving the vehicle. Just because you own a mansion, does that mean we should buy your vehicle to drive? Let's stop sugarcoating this thing. It's corruption. He's wrong. He should get fired.
And I agree with you, Robert. Wrong is wrong. And that's the thing when we talk about the processes and the policies of these entities, the people don't go by it and they say, oh, he made a mistake. So everybody will be making mistakes. That girl will never come to herself. If people are not penalized and prosecuted for the mistake, the stealing they're doing, acting like it's a mistake. Look, you can come in on that. And then we'll do one round or one minute each on what we think about honorability resignation from the Liberty Party. I just want to hear people intake on this.
Well, Chris, I think we should actually close on that and let's take some calls because we are running short on time. The guys are notifying us, and we want to get the people.
We are running short on time.
Right, but yeah, but
it's 12 o'clock in Liberia.
Sometimes we say on 8:30, so I don't know how we're running short on time.
It's 8:02 though.
Yeah.
And we want to take calls. So, but here's my thing though. Regarding the corruption on the part of Amin Moda, in addition to his buddy, what's the guy name? The guy that my brother Kehleboe referenced as his best friend. They grew up together. Double Jala, and for that reason,
he's not my friend. He's my brother. So
that's what I said. Okay, good. Your brother. I didn't expect Kehleboe to hold him accountable, knowing that is his brother, as stated in quotation, because obviously that is the norm of the society we find ourselves in. If my brother. Okay, I'll continue. If my brother is a part of anything, whether it is corrupt, I should find reason to justify his contribution and keep him void of any prosecution. Protect him to the fullest, or my sister, whatever. Let's be honest here. This is a man who worked in government before. He been a part of the process. He understands, okay, the nitty-gritty of things as they are carried on. It was not a mere mistake. They agreed, okay, to have done what they did. You cannot come here and want to hold Amin Moda accountable, but double Jala distance from his contribution. Correct. In all honesty, they both knew what they were doing, and they contributed to a form of corruption, whether that corrupt act benefited them directly or indirectly. We don't care. We are at the point in our country history where we are trying to fix things. Okay? We are trying to recalibrate the system. You told us you were coming to rescue the nation from corruption. Okay? From bad governance. My expectation here is that you came with all your lenses put in place and you had your lights turned on to focus on everything and be detailed until you can have control of the steering wheel. Then you can start to be a little bit sluggish and say, okay, at least we have achieved. Until then, You have done nothing. You have done nothing, and you're making all of these mistakes. The same exact mistakes that you prosecuted the CDC government for. And that's why I continue to say the decision on the part of Tour to come to the country was simply because he realized that, oh, these guys are doing no different from what I did or what I would have done. So guess what? I'm going to go to the country now. Guess what? If they attempt to prosecute me, they better prosecute Amin Modar, or they better go after Double Jala or other people, even the guy Giddens, the guy who is still in possession of the $22 million that should have been used for road constructions. Not to even stop at that point, we ought to also speak to the yellow machine. So being the man that is farsighted as he is, Tora said, you know what? I am going to use this opportunity because these guys are no different from me. We are all of the same cloth. We are only cut differently, but we are of the same cloth. So everything in them is in me. So now I can go back to the country and challenge the system to see how they will be able to prosecute me, considering the fact that they did the same thing. Amin Modar.
He told you? Kawan told you? Bring the people on that. Take your call.
You saw that. That's exactly what I told you. Yeah, we recorded what I told you.
I mean, it's just logical, though. It's logical. Just thinking about what is going on in the country. These guys are just saying, okay, we can play with the minds of the people and easily get away with it because guess what? The CDC and UP, we are of the same cloth. We were only caught differently. So guess what? Let us just do the same thing. And now I can go to the country and celebrate President Weah's birthday because we are doing the same thing. He shouldn't have to say it to be forbidden. Neither should we have to have a conversation. But anybody who can see, okay, and that is the reason why we reference people as being farsighted. The reason why we sat here and called President Weah corrupt, was it because he was actually corrupt or was he prosecuted? Grace, you and other people, all of us, we spoke of the foreign affairs minister that he was found of some kind of allegation. Did he go through any kind of legal process? Did he admit to all of those things? We shouldn't have to do that. But the reality here is this: the actions speak louder than the words. So they shouldn't have to say much to me for me to actually address them or even be able to perceive what they are doing. And the reality is the fact that these guys are making mockery of the system. They're making mockery of us. They intended to come and enrich themselves or just continue the same thing from the CDC government that they started with. Everybody. So that's why I'm saying now. So tonight, was it a bad thing for me to just designate authority to you to moderate? Now you shut. Everybody spoke longer, right? Everybody spoke longer. She didn't bother though. Lofa now she okay. Let's bring the phone call from back home.
I was supposed to be moderating tonight.
Okay, Grace.
Lofa, you spoke longer and you.
No, I did not speak. I did not speak longer because. But anyway, let's bring the phone. Let's bring the phone. Grace, it's okay. Let's bring the phone in from back home. It's okay.
Let me check to moderate. Turning the net, I give it to you because you keep on.
We didn't get to come on military resolution.
Yeah, we need to get to.
Can we get 1 more minute? Just 1 more minute. That's all watch the time. Just 1 more minute to come on military thing. Yeah, 1 more minute, please.
So are we gonna take? Are we gonna? Okay. So well, hold on 1 second. Let me find out here. So if you're gonna interrupt me to bring the callers from back home in, but then you want to use this time to take a minute to discuss ability.
Let me tell you the reason why you give me a chance. The reason why we want to do that is that when they call us.
Well, then why didn't you allow me my time to conclude though? If that is the case,
you conclude that, Lofa. Why you keep on going back and forth?
No, I did not because you interrupted me.
You using a mic and you yelling in our ear.
Okay, so let Lofa start with the ability thing. Let Lofa start.
No, I'm not going to stop. But let's go. I just wanted to make a point.
Yeah, Grace.
Kehleboe will do 1 minute and then Myean will come in with a call so that people can be able to put all together and say what they have to say. You know, then before. So Kehleboe, can you speak on
just 1 minute each, y'all guys.
1 minute on ability resignation? What do you think about that?
Here what I think. I think his resignation from the Liberty Party is a good thing. And here is my reason. During the internal fight in the Liberty Party, Darius DeLong, aka Mischief, Liberia Senator, Mischief in Chief, or whatever I want to say, they were calling Bealded all sorts of names. I'm surprised they and Bealded sitting down in the legislature today, and all these accusations they were making, they've all flown out of the window. He can't bring one. I am surprised sometimes when I see honorability even criticizing Unity Party government. I listened to you on Spoon the other day, and he said President Garguah was in a cage. And he said Fulani Kofa was either a hostage, something he said. And after the show, I called him, and I said to myself, these Unity Party people are saying Bealded is criminal, a role for this that will prosecute him. Now they have power, and the man is one of the leading critics, and not a debt they can find on him. Okay? So for me, it speaks to the fact that Darius DeLong, Yomdi Kanga, and that good for nothing Gola ball called Dano Sando, the bomb of that Bealded should give them the Liberty Party, let them see. Let him wait outside because of
1 minute gone.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Thank you. There you go. Thank you. I like that.
Pewee?
Thank you. Yes, for me, my take here is I think there's the same when you see somebody running from the bush, that's only the person can only running behind that person. Exactly. Yeah, look up on that. So see somebody running from the bush, you see the guy like, don't say as the woman will be, I'm only running behind that woman on the pay that coming. So you will have to rock it. So no, it may sound a little comical here, but it's serious, right? So Mr. Bealded cherishes party, and I believe there's something he saw in this party that he's trying to push and uphold. But again, and that's one of my basic process, and I did an article on this process before on our political institutions. When we will begin the process of institutionalizing rather than individualizing our institution, there where the problem is. And I think it's coming a year back after we did this kind of analysis, it's still coming to haunt. The Bealded went in the party very, and I will say this, he's a big brother and a very smart man. I respect him with quickly. I know I will end here soon, end on this process. I know. But he went on this in this institution to fight the process. But the way he went there, by the time Ben Rody, most of the other guys that believe in him, and Mr. Bealded cannot continue Ben Rody in this Liberty Party people. And that's one of the major things behind it. If you are to talk to Bealded one-on-one, the weight is too huge on him. He believes it's time not to go. He's spending his personal money. And you don't have that money to spend. So these are the kind of thing unfolding. So he believes that the party move on. And the party is nothing. It's going to go nowhere. The fact that he's gone, nothing. The other people are going to come now. The only reason they're going to put the party and put more money in it. But that's it. There was something running behind him too heavy that made him to leave on in the process. Yeah.
So soon you saw him coming from the bush, I started running. Eh?
Yeah, I started running. I knew that something there. And I anticipated this. Yeah, and yeah, I anticipated it.
Listen, I think this it was a long time coming for Bealded, and I think it's very strategic on his part to throw in the towel now. And like Pewee said, I don't understand. How does this benefit him right now, or even going into 2029?
No.
As chairman of the Liberty Party, I think the Liberty Party now has a lot of work to do. They need to go back to the drawing board. They have a lot of unity. They have a lot of work to do. The Constitution is in disarray. A lot of things that needs to be done, because up until now, we've all known Liberty Party to be the split party, the ability branch of the party, and then
the Miss Lawrence branch of the party. So they have a lot of work to do. But I think this is very strategic. I think I won't be surprised to hear Ability make an announcement, maybe in the next 2 years or so, as it relates to which party he officially joins. And I see that coming. But I think this is all strategic, and this is all in line with the next election.
Chuchu, thank you.
Yeah, well, just use like few seconds to thank my brother Robert Garguah for being straightforward, direct tonight, calling corruption what it is, to his own friend and brother Amin Modar. So I want to commend you for doing so. I always know what's in you to do it, to do the right thing. Unfortunately, we didn't touch on some of the area because I really want to touch on the IMF and the finance minister praising the IMF loan, but we'll do that another day. Bealded has been outstanding in the legislature, and I think he has a lot of pressure. He needs to continue on that route, and and I think that's the right thing to do. I wish he would have made me the chairman because I would have fired Yombe Kange Lawrence, expelled it, and Darius he would in 24 hours time. You know what I mean? And bring new people in the party and develop it, because those people that are corrupt. So build a new party. So, but that's what it is. And I would say, I think what's the last issue about the Amin Modar thing? Not only should he resign, the Ministry of Justice should prosecute him. This is conspiracy to commit theft. This is a serious crime. We hear the New York City mayor is indicted. A sitting mayor in the New York City, one of the largest cities in the world. And we sit in that bureau and we see blatant corruption, and we say that slippage. So why do you have the Ministry of Justice? Why do you have the Solicitor General? The man committed a crime, but he must go to jail. And if Burka does not prosecute Amin Modar for this corruption, he and Dawah Jala for conspiracy as well, then they will hear from us.
Yeah,
it will be a major part of the campaign.
Thank you very much. And if you got your radio on in the back, you turn it off, Johnny.
So yes, I think for me, I don't think I have much to say about Bealded because that's the Bealded party business, and whatever goes on with them is okay with everybody. I think that I want to use the time to tell this platform, let us try to discuss national issues that will inform our population. Our country is highly ill-informed and uninformed. So every time we are discussing, let's try to make sure that we have the facts. We're discussing in a way that it will help population to learn from us. This profile, the profile of this platform is getting huge, and I want to caution all of us to ensure that Bealded is resigning from the Liberia Party. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know how should we even take time to discuss it on the show. And said it was an issue that was occurring in the Liberia Party that were affecting the state. But
why you say that?
No.
That's his view. That's his view.
But I see you nodding in support of that. So
that's
that's
what he wants.
I have 40 minutes. It's coming at 40 seconds. I got 20 more seconds to go.
1 minute, Johnny. Before you finish your 1 minute. Liberty Party is a major party in Liberia. So if the chairman of Liberty Party resigns his position, that's news. We have to discuss that because come 2029, they will be a part of the election. So we want to know for the people to be informed. Because 2029, some people will say, "Oh, but we didn't know that Bealded no more the chairman." So we can discuss those things. Go ahead, you finish your 1 minute.
No, but I'm honestly, I know Grace other journal like a real journalist, right? Because that's an element that's a serious news element of former, and that's the party that went to call the current president even all those things about fingering thing, all those things that happened. Then the chairman resigned. It's a news element and it need to be discussed even for a whole week.
Okay, thank you, Pewee. So you had your time. What did you say significant about this Liberty Party resignation? What did you say that people really want to know? I'm saying the condition on which he resigned has no element of news right now. There's no issue to discuss here. But you just have 1 minute. What did you say that really linked to the real element of the news talking about here? You understand? So I'm just saying to everybody here, this man resigned, fine. Let's see what happened in that 4 or 5 weeks. If something else comes out in the party to make news, then we can discuss the reason why he resigned, all of that. But when you say he resigned from the party, how did that become news? And my only issue here is that the issue of corruption around the Commerce Ministry and LRA. So LRA is saying people apply for their money to buy vehicles for operation. I mean, Mother did not use the money to buy vehicles for operation. He used the money to buy car for one person. So in my view, that's missed application. So I want to understand from the body here, how is the LRA linked with the corruption? Let me declare that the economy here. I want to understand how is LRA linked to the corruption, not for me, but for the public that is listening to us. So that's my
And
point
that
here.
was the first. That was the question.
Because
I
they
asked.
shouldn't be giving.
Wait
that
now,
is a
please.
council.
Listen, one time, sometimes when talking across the floor, our public get confused. So that's why I see I can sit back. I'm a person who I don't talk in noise because I like to make sense. Even if you don't like it, yeah, it clearly. So let me the public understand how is LRA linked to the corruption with mutual comments. That's all, so they can be informed about the process.
Okay,
I would like
so
to
you
take a
finish
stab at
talking. Can I come in now? So
Yeah, I'm true.
That's the reason why when I asked Kehleboe about LRA, I told him to disconnect and connect the LRA and the Commerce Ministry. Why is it that a double jada will be connected to this if it's a crime, and why if it's not a crime, or if it's a crime, why is he not connected to this? And I wanted Kehleboe to lay it out because he knows a little bit more about that. Kehleboe, he said he went more around it. Pewee King tried to explain it, but we never got to that point. But I disagree with you when you say that these kind of things are major political party chairman resign from the party.
Okay, you say the correct thing. Let hear it. No, say it, my grace. Say what is important about his resignation.
We're not dwelling on it and talking about it for 1 hour. We just say everybody should chime in 1 minute, 1 minute. So come 2029, our people, but that's why on the platform. Come 2029, so our people can be able to make a sound decision. Because for me, I don't think Liberty or how they call it, United Party or CDC should lead Liberia any longer after this presidency. So that's the reason why when it comes to the political party, I want Liberia people to actually be informed. And I would say personally, I think it was a smart move. Liberty Party was built on tribal lines. So that party, I don't know whether it will go anywhere after this, but let's see what happens. What do you have to say, Lofa?
I don't think the abilities or decision to vacate his party should have any bearing on my discussion here tonight. To be honest with you, he made his decision. He said that it was much more favorable to what he desired. Okay, wish him the best of luck. I want to use the rest of my 1 minute to focus on some of the corrupt practices and other things that are of much more importance to the general public right now until we approach 2029. Why it is true that we can start to educate our people. I think right now the corrupt practices, okay, in Liberia, the bad governance should be my focus, so that hopefully as we get closer to 2029, our people will remember some of these bad things that are happening in Liberia and make rational decisions. Bealded's decision to stay with or leave his party, that is on him. We can actually assume, I can sit here and assume so many things because I was provided information that the reason why he left was blah, 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 blah. But how does that benefit the general public? I don't think it's of much significance. Maybe the party just did not serve.
What is the blah 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 blah?
The blah 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 would be the fight that he chose to serve his interest, and that is his interest. That is his right. Constitutional.
What interest? What interest? You say coming in not clear.
What do you mean? What interest? He does he have a political interest? Does he has an individual interest? The reason why he joined the party in the first place was because he believed in the party mandate. Now, if they're not living up to his expectation, is he not at liberty to leave? That's why the institution is referenced as the Liberty Party. You can come in at will and leave at will. So if he noticed something, remember what you use, your analogy, okay, through a proverb. What you said earlier, when you see the man running out of the bush, don't stand and ask him what happened. Run ahead, and then when you're at safety, ask questions later. That's what we talk about. So that I'll end on that note.
Thank you, Lofa. Myean, can you come in now with a course?
resources for the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
To extradite
Somebody radio on.
Kehleboe.
Okay, so you've been following the conversation. You can put your calls in 0777-285961, 0777-285961 on Truth FM 96.1. So we have this caller on the line. Hello, caller. Your name and where do you call from?
My name is Garguah. I call from Mama Point.
Okay, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
My attention has been drawn to Army Mother. You see, the issue of corruption has been suppressing with the Liberia. There's so much. So, for me, I want for the government to take strong action. And lastly, before I close, I want to talk to integrate one of our sisters by the name of Myean. She's very sick. Yeah, she has a GFK, but it's not easy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because Myean has the issue, she know.
All right. She's listening to respond.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I start this far.
Okay. Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, your name and where do you call from?
I'm Boru. I call from Chichiwa, Ghana.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just bumped into the show, and I think this is my first time. I like the way the people conducting the show and the topics people discussing. And I'm one of the person in Liberia going around the 70 and being around government and then listening. We like people call it silent listening. And my point in admiration come to one of the panelists there. You didn't know their name. For there should be clarity in the issue that we should know how things supposed to go on. But now that we don't have cities in our country yet for people to learn how governments and things supposed to go on, and everybody reading, and there is no much publicity. But it kind of show can help. Like for example, where the corruption lies with Army Mother, how it is connected to the RA. One of the person said it. The issue with the Liberty Party and PAD is a news, but that news getting there in the sense that personally, the whole party business of one I made sure with money. And he see it now that he can carry him nowhere. So I just want to admonish people that it should be a little bit clearer for people to understand some issue. Like for example, the governance basically has to do with corruption. Where we are now in Liberia, a new government just came in and we just took the other government on. It's not time for people to be making petty mistakes. People who are in government and people who know the rules and other things.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and I will be trying to follow your show. Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you. So let's take this caller. Hello, caller. Your name, where do you call from? Hello, caller. Wow, we lost that call. Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Yeah, your name, where do you call from? Okay, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Yeah, following a conversation Tuesday. You know what, brother? Liberia today, and Liberia yesterday, the Parker government was just, start embarrassing God because God isn't just listening to us. Because we look for it. This is the kind of government that in the first year there is no achievement. We look at, we are in the first year, the citizen was not harmed. They were giving children to look for their own work to do because the country was hard at the time. But this country now are Moldova, or market seller, gas seller, they are all being wanted by the product-led government. So that was so embarrassing God.
Okay.
Listening to us.
All right, thank you. Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, Nima, where do you call from?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Patrick, calling for Raja Community District.
Okay, go ahead, quick.
Okay, I want to appreciate you both for the topic today, but sometimes we need to be holistic in our discussion. We agree that Myean has blundered, but And we are looking at the public well minister who has openly come and apologized to the public for his error.
Yes.
After making the first error through the procurement process, that he blundered. Then he came making another error that he is unable to meet up with those challenges that were required by the president. And he said he was the most critiqued toward the military in the past government. He said everything that the government did over the years was the wrong thing at the public work military. Although that was at the public work military was considered over his life as the most foolish and dumb people. So we need to elevate the argument in terms of making the guy look good. Because the criticism have not helped this country.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we need to pay attention to him and leave him with that smoke.
Okay, thank you. Hello, caller. Stay away from the monitor. Yeah, Nima, where do you call from?
I'm just Blama Kamara from the Lagrange Civil Rights Movement, and let me appreciate you on the closing argument.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for this great opportunity that you always provide for us as Liberians to be able to have our say. To the issue of corruption in our country, you see, when we say that President Barker will not succeed in the fight against corruption, sometimes people feel that we just want to pray for bad things in our country. No. The fight against corruption has to be holistic, So it does have to do with, and this is my own person that I've been able to give job to work along with me in, studying the affair of Liberia. Anyone that is corrupt or that was corrupt or that corrupted the cover of Liberia should be prosecuted and be dealt with. And even those that work with you, you don't have to sue them. You have to also be able to take needed action against them. Can you imagine a government minister, even if it is rightly done in this kind of pressing economic system, and then a commerce minister will be able to purchase a $90,000 to $120,000 car? For what? When children are out of school, and when there is no food for people to eat, and in this kind of broken economy. So even the public works minister, these are people in the legal minister also in violation of spending or removal of people who work with the labor ministry. So if companies are doing that, how will you be able to take action against them? If government is involved in violating the rights of peaceful Liberians, and then what will you be able to do in terms of defending to those same Liberians that you are violating their rights in the public sector? If your rights are violated in the public and in the private sector, what will you do as a government? Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Yes. Please stay away from your monitor. Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Representative, please put a tag to it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so you can put your course in 0777-285-961, 0777-285-961 to be a part of the closing argument here on Truth FM 96.1 and other frequency across Liberia. We have someone. Hello, caller. Okay. Hello, caller. Yeah, name and where do you call from?
Yes, my name is Francis Pewee, calling from Togar,
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the whole thing about it, one restoration just become excuse nation. Togia knew nothing. By this time, 14 military were up. YSP, it was paid. Students were taking while free. UL students were celebrating at this time. But now, for their own 24 hours, their own excuse. Look at recently, the public welfare minister go criticize the foreign government that they never do anything on the background road. While I road, that same people what they do, they get around and patch it. The same way what they say, people say you should patch it. They ain't what to do at the end of the day. The only thing you got to criticize the back government. That's all. So, thank you for your show.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have another person on the line. Hello, caller. Hello? Hello, caller. Wow, stay away from your monitor. We lost that caller. You can put your calls in 0777-285-961 to be a part of the
One more
closing
call.
argument. You are saying something? Okay, 0777-285-961, 0777-285-961 to be a part. Okay. Hello, caller.
Hello, how you doing? This is from Masha.
Is that your name?
Ramadan from Masha.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I think for me, I will continue to embarrass God. Leaders are people we pray for and we stand with, even when we favor them, because they run something that belongs to all of us. So I'm only kind of confused that those who work along with the leaders are the very ones who first trap the leaders unless the leader himself is found to be part of a kind of a clique that the people without one. So what I'm saying here is that we have to keep praying for these people because these people lead us. And this corruption fight we're talking about is not something that is going to come overnight. There are great sacrifices that are going to be made. And the first step is what you are doing. School is a session I have been really critical about, but the way you proceed with your programs in a kind of a mature manner, it makes me glue to the radio most of the time listening to school, and this is the first time calling, and I like the program, and I want to say thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Myean, let that be the last
Thank you,
call.
Myean.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that'll be the last call. Thank you.
Okay, guys. So we will do our closing, and I want to say thank you for the callers for calling in tonight. We'll now do our closing. Everybody will have like 2 minutes to closing. You can close on anything. Oh, okay. So we will start with Kehleboe. I think you should remove Kehleboe. Okay, he coming.
No, he's on Spoon. Let's transfer it to Spoon. He's gonna hear it.
I don't think he's on there. Kehleboe, go ahead.
I received a call because of the comments. Some comments I made. So here is what I was saying.
But I even hear somebody lying on me on it. So he said, I don't even watch Spoon. They say I want Spoon. So the people go ahead, Kehleboe.
I do watch Spoon because Spoon is very progressive when it comes to criticizing Boaga. I do watch Spoon.
Yeah, for you, but I don't. So
so here's what I was saying. You know, I joined you guys. This was a very good show. You know, but Liberia is an interesting place. I listened to the callers and I listened to some of the panelists' comments. We are where we are because as a country, we haven't even determined. Our leaders continue to lie and mislead. One of the misconceptions that is going around, which is very sad, today Liberia is putting all the resources that they want to get seat on the Security Council. Forgetting to know, Liberia has been on that Security Council before. It never brought any dividends. It's not about whether you sit at the UN Security Council. It's what you do in your country, how you manage your resources. Like Ellen Johnson said when she was president, the Liberia problem is not lack of resources. It's management issue. Liberia got management and leadership issue. If Liberia does not address the management and leadership issue in the country, we can sit at the Security Council, it will mean nothing. We can bring $3 billion in the country, it will mean nothing because we have management and leadership issue. And we continue to praise and honor the corrupt people. That's why I'm not surprised at some of the news I'm hearing around. The corruption people are lining up for 2029. And you all know them. The corruption people are lining up for 2029 because that's how the country has been. But I don't want to start calling names tonight because it's a closing remark, but we know them. The budget manipulators, we know them. The Thomas Fala, the
I told you weren't gonna call names.
No, the lining up. Fonanti Kofa, the lining up. It's bad for them. It's in news that Amimo that went and dropped to the feet of Jeremiah Kun to beg him so he can talk to Paga for giving. I said, but the right place the man went. You know, when you won, that the right place the man went. You know, because Paga said, I will go to the devil. He is the king of the devil. That's the right place he went.
Okay, Sylvester Pewee.
Thank you. For me, I will just actually pray that one day we will see the country move forward and we will go through the system. But one thing I want to encourage us to again begin the process of moving into is this this issue about institutionalizing most of our political parties and the rest of that. So the political institution will come out to be great, big, and the rest of that. To see Mr. Bealded resign today yesterday from the Liberia Party also is a clear manifestation of what we've been talking about time to time. But on the most serious note, as all I would say is not important for me, I think it's a critical process because we need to use this moving forward. Mr. Bealded sacrificed a lot for this party. I can recall stay here in the U.S. then in school, 2016. He was the first person ever that pushed a party to own more than 50, 60 brand new pickups. Another thing, restructured the party in a way and manner that elevated the party to a very serious level, even before the late Charles Bronski demise, when they moved to the Cali Junction area where they were headquartered and the rest of that. There was a lot of strategic intervention this man put in. So Mr. Bealded, you like him, you don't like him, he's a very major person. Madame Salif said one thing I will always recall. She said she respects Mr. Bealded and she can vouch for his character anytime, any day. So for he to leave the party, I mean the party now it should be a soul session for them to understand where's the problem, leave this individual and focus on this process about institutionalizing. And we all Liberians, political institution, we should stop just following one person and make the party. Today, NDP is no more. It's almost zero down. The NPP is struggling, and they're all when they are in power, the government resources promote them. We need to build an institution so that those political parties can move forward. Thank you for having us this evening, and have a very wonderful night to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Pewee. Garguah? Robert Garguah. So Garguah is not come. Okay. We're not hearing you.
So in my closing, I just want to say that obviously we have a long way to go as a country, and that I'm not surprised about this government and its doings. We told the Liberian people that if we needed an alternative to CDC, Unity Party was not that alternative. Unity Party did not represent a change. So I was just hoping that they will prove some of us wrong. And 9 months later, they're proving us right. So we still have 4.5 years to go. Let's see what happens. But this is Liberia. We have got to continue to speak up and lend our voices and hold this government feet to the fire. But at the same time, I want to say this. Everyone keeps saying, publicly they called us and said, "Hey, Robert, man," but the show has turned into an opposition show. No, it's not. I look forward to a day that I can commend this government on something. Look, we commended the government on the War on Economic Crimes Code. Where is that as we speak? I didn't hear much about that at his address at the UN. So when the government does, say that again. When the government does right, we will speak up and we will commend the government because we want this government to succeed. Because when this government succeeds, the Liberian people succeed as well. And so we don't pray for the government to fail. But the truth of the matter is, Joseph Boakai in this 2024 was not the right pick. Was not the right pick. And we made our bed. Now we must lie in it. And so that's where I'm at, Grace. Great show. Always great to see the neo progressive. Always good to see my brother Choo and Lofa and you and Johnny. Johnny, let's keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully this weather kind of subside a little bit and I can come and say hey to you. But it's great. Good night to Liberia.
I think I get close.
Okay, go ahead, Choo.
Okay. Well, thank you, Robert. I think tonight we're on a good footing. I enjoy you tonight. Look, listen.
I agree with you also.
Liberia, you see, I'm rubbing off the man. Lead it here. All I know will be supporting me in 2029. Look, listen, Liberia has a chance. And the chance is we have a lot of young people that are caught up in all this mess about who know who and who friends and who went to university together during the 80s and 90s. And those are the people I'm banging on. The 13 and 14 years old today will be 18 by 2029. They don't care about your Gafuan and your Amakone and your whoever that have been robbing the country since early time. I was just looking on the revenue on the website, and to my surprise, you know who are the board of directors of the Revenue Authority? It's Amin Moda and the finance minister. Can you believe that? So where's the check and balance that you're talking about? This Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, they all the wonderful thing for Liberia. Okay, you close down Ministry of Planning, you put it on the Ministry of Finance. Then you take out the Ministry of Finance job, which is to collect revenue. You create a separate entity, and that entity you take the same Minister of Finance and the same Commerce Minister. What the heck is that? What management school? Maybe that university.
They are on the board. See the responsibility of Minister of the LRA and the Finance Ministry. They are on the board.
They should not be on the board because
every major is going to do that. It's a policy process.
Peter, can you let him man close, please?
Let the man make his statement so we can go.
Our problem here is these old people that I mean 09 age, but these people who've been in government for so long and have done nothing. Whether it's the CDC, the CDC got nothing to post up, and I hear someone there, calling in. Well, they broadcast. We should speak because you were there for 6 years. You created $1 billion in debt, and you sitting down in like bro, all job supporting your government that collected $1 billion in loan and $2.5 billion in revenue, and you don't have food to eat. And you gotta go beg, and your wife gotta go beg, and you supporting those same people. You're useless. Okay, you shouldn't want to see anything called CDC or Unity Party, none in your life, because the problem is these people, these parents, they're too selfish. They're not thinking on their children. They're only thinking on themselves right now. Where I can get from 12, where I can get from the other person. And there you got no good school, you got no education. 12 children in private school in another country. We had son in another country. And you sit there when we try to talk about these people, you attack us. But I'm ready for you. I will be there and I'll be ready for you. The CDC people, the whoever people are here to speak for the Liberian people that are not part of any connected to any one of these corrupt people. That's the people I represent, and that's the people that have a voice. The country don't belong to one group of people. It don't belong to the powerful in the United Party people. So you say something, or the CDC people. It don't belong to them. You have your chances, and you need to shut up now and let some of us who've been talking this through, we told you about Boga, we told you about we are. You give us a chance so that we can fix this country and bring the country together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah, so let me I appreciate all my colleagues on the show. I just want to do a brief summary, if I can do it, because we started the program by discussing general things. We talk about the floor system in Morovia, and I want to say that this is very important for us. The Liberian government need to look for the technicians that know about urban planning and land use activity so we can manage and control the floor in the country. I believe we can control floor in Morovia because Morovia is not really explosive in terms of population. We're not overcrowded. It's just because we don't have a proper land use plan activity in order. That's why we have all the issues. And we talk about also the UNGA, where our president and government has gone. I heard from Julius that, the Lofa, that they have 60 persons on the delegation. Is that true, Julius?
That's it is alleged, but
Okay, it's alleged.
based on no, I was told.
No, if it's alleged, then let it be. I don't want to talk about alleged.
No, it is alleged. Let's use
okay.
that.
So we talk about the GA. So our concern is that the GA attendance should be about raising Liberia's issue at the kind of conferences. And like I was saying to the group, and people said they have briefing note. I did not intend to say receive briefing note. I thought that the team that is being organized from Liberia that will come to the General Assembly should have an internal meeting at home. This is where we are. We are going to this meeting. What can we get out of this meeting? How do we organize ourselves that let's assess who's going to this meeting from which country, from which organization, who has the connection that will go and talk to people on the sidelines. That when we come back, we can maybe follow up and get something good for our people. So that's what I really thought that we are doing. I really hope that those that are left behind in New York, still, talking with people behind the scene, can pull Liberia issues adequately and more sufficient so that we can get necessary support to build our country, because Liberia is the only country we have. No matter how long we live in other countries, we never feel good until we get back home, and home is home. And the UL issue we talk about, it is important for Liberia to look at the UL. That is the government's biggest institution. I'm hoping and praying that we can have our science department, students will start to even do invention, start doing experiment at our University of Liberia. Already I was following some universities around Africa here. The young kids there now are doing invention on the making drones and making other technical equipment. Up and now, our universities have nothing like that to do. I'm hoping and praying that one of these days, in the nearest future, we can move about and make UL the best in the sub-region. And like I said, I really didn't see it necessary for me to discuss Musa Hassan Belete resignation from Liberty Party, because if the content of the resignation was about national consent to us, then we're going to discuss it. But he just resigned because he started being chairman for the party. And the last thing we talk about here, I want to talk about again, is that the Ministry of Commerce and LRA issue. And this is a critical issue. It has a political nature in the country. So I thought that our platform should discuss it in a way that we show clear line between the two ministries, two government agencies, and see how the corruption issue was connected. And I really didn't see that happen still. We didn't draw the line that our people will be informed about what we discuss here. So I'm hoping that next time we can discuss issues about Liberia in a way that would be more informative than to be bashing at each other on the show. So let me say, Auntie Grace and my brother Julius and everybody else, thank you for organizing this program. In as much as I have the time, I will do my best to always be on the show, and let's make the show the best for Liberians to follow. And the calls we made, we received 7 calls. And you see, I'm going to give a geographic position of what the calls that we made, so we know the impact we're making. We received a call from Central Morovia from Mama Point. We received a call from Canonsville. We received a call from Peace Island, a call from Duazon, Marshall, and Marshall. So you can see from that perspective that our platform is taking people's attention. So let's try to make sure that our discussions here are more about giving people information about what's happening in the country, helping them to make decisions about what they do in their life. So thank you. I will try my best to always be here, like I said. But I know I like to be a little bit analytical in my discussion. I don't want to be like biased. That's why I said 60%. He said no. I break away straight because I want to say something that I cannot defend. So thank you, and I wish everybody safe night. Tomorrow or next week we can meet again. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. Julius.
I want to start on this note to my brother Johnny. Thank you. Your contribution tonight, it's massive. Okay, I admire your objective criticism of the platform and trying to contribute in a way that hopefully we can utilize your objective criticism to enhance what we present to the people. Thank you so much for the way you presented your analysis of the issue. It helps because at the end of the day, the purpose we are here to serve is the Liberian people's understanding of the governance of the nation. How can we sincerely present to them people who understand true governance? Unfortunately, it appears as though very often we focus on the self-interest, our political association, our proximities to these people in government, and we forget the masses. So hearing you just present that perspective, I want to thank you, for devoting your time while you're out here to be a part of the program tonight and giving that perspective so our audience can benefit from your insight. With that said, I also want to say to Grace, great moderating tonight. And the issue here that I want to close on is the issue of corruption. Corruption is a devil. Believe it or not, I don't have to sit here and try to dissect how it impacts society. I mean, more that stealing from the government is part of the reason why people are dying at JFK and other places. Samuel Toy, who stole from the government yesteryears, is part of the reason why people are dying at JFK, because the funds that they're stealing or they stole, okay, for their flamboyant lifestyle, for their luxurious activities, are not being allocated to the intended places, those areas that's supposed to benefit, like our education system, our security, the fight against drugs abuse. And then finally, to close on this note, the issue of drugs abuse that I mentioned earlier, that President Boycott spoke of. He and his colleagues went to make mockery of the fight against drugs when he made himself available, okay, to be tested for drugs, as though anybody ever accused him as the former vice president and now the president of being an abuser of drugs. But he thought to do that. So in short, I think he's doing more than we really expected, and he's making President George Weah look way better than anybody in the world ever thought this man will come close, especially considering the fact that President Boycott, 40 some more years in government, I expected this man to make us all shame. Like the way I accused this man of being a failure, the way I really went at this man during the campaign, I swear to God, I shouldn't be sitting on any platform right now criticizing him. I should be ashamed of myself based on his performance. But the fact that he made me to feel comfortable to go anywhere and even discuss him more, it should be a shame to this government and anybody who is involved in corruption in Liberia. Shame to you all. I hope you will do better. Your presence in the United States at the UNGA is wasteful. You should go back home and tell Darrell Dillon to stop the showboating or he travel around. We still agree that he's on a restricted visa. A restricted visa does not in any way, shape, or form stop you on it in New York. You're on a restricted visa, and that is the truth. Stop showboating. Take all your picture you want. You're on a restricted visa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Grace, can I make a clarification? Oh, no. Before Robert left, he was saying President Boycott did not mention the war crime issue at the UN General Assembly. But, There's
No,
something.
no, 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 no. He did. He said, President, he said, excuse me, President Barker did, though, to a limited extent. He's not here. I'm not going to defend him, but he said he did.
No, he acknowledged the fact that he
did.
Initiated the World Crime Court, but then in the UN, did not mention that in his speech.
I think you misunderstood him. He said it was mentioned in inauguration and acknowledged.
Okay, your thanks.
But anyway, no, I'm not. That does not make it an argument. He's not. He can defend himself.
There's something substantial happening in Monrovia. The U.S. delegation is in Monrovia. It appears like this World Crime Court thing is up the ground now. It's about to run, and people are going to be.
Thank you,
people are going to be going to toilet fast in Monrovia soon. Some people.
All right, thank you. So I want to say thank you. I will do my closing. I would like to say the caller that called in and talk about Mary White. I don't know anybody named Mary White. I don't know that person. So if you want me to actually reach out to help them, and if I can, because that line of work I don't do anymore. So, but if I can, you can inbox me. Let me see, what I can do to help them. I would say that Kehleboe, I will respond to you that I do not watch porn. The reason is that I don't believe in people who come and tell the Liberian public one thing, and then after a few months they tell the Liberian people, they see people they say we're going to do everything for this country. That the election has so many good potential leaders, and they talk down those leaders, and they don't even have the right someone. They don't even fit to even tie the shoes of those leaders. They talk about them. The people, the candidates that were in the race, they talk about them, talk about their family, they degraded them and everything. And they say, Waka, we're going to do everything for the country. That same platform. And then today, in less than a year, they come back to say, oh, no, he's not good. So I don't listen to people like that. I have too many things to accomplish in my life. In one day, for me to even text you is a lot. You must know I already care about you to even do that. So I will not waste my time on that kind of platform listening to them. And I also want to say, like Brempo should understand that CDC and United Party is not that they are brothers and sisters. Yeah, they are brothers and they are brothers from one mother children, but they are conjoined twin. So you know how conjoined twin cannot they have to depend on each other to survive. That has CDC and UP. So you know their bodies stuck together. So that's why you see the corruption is still very, very high in the government, in the House of Representatives, in the Senate. They all work together.
I'll quote you. I'm making a Facebook page.
They are not for the Liberian people. They are for themselves and their family. And that's what they stand for. I will always tell the Liberian people as I come here every day, take up my precious time to sit here for these hours, that 2029, these two parties, you cannot put them back into power or else that will be going nowhere. We have to change our direction to a new leadership in the country and for Liberia to be able to start from a fresh start and see what those other leaders have to get to the country. That's the right thing to do. I would say for President Barker, this whole conference thing, I just focus because nothing in the conference for me. So I'm focusing on him as a president. I feel the president posture, his demeanor at the conference is very crucial. And he doesn't have that. He doesn't have the confidence when he presenting. I don't see that. I still think he need to learn how to be able to stand in his posture and to present to the people. So because all those things matters for people to take you seriously, to be able to help the country while you're delivering. I want him to be sure. To be sure when he engaging the people, to be sure of what he's saying and on point means that when he's before he got to that place, we were supposed to make sure he go over those things so he can talk with enough confidence and surety. His voice, the voice mutilation is not there. Although he's a soft-spoken man, but even with the soft-spokenness, he's not sure what he's saying. So I hope they can be able to correct that for other conferences to come. Since he has 5 years or 6 years to lead the country, that would be good for the country. So, but I want to say thank you to everybody. Lofa, I thank you for giving my position back after I give it back to you. I think you are so right. You are not a corrupt man. So I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.
Well, Grace, I just made a post that's in quotation. No, but CDC and UP are conjoined twins in corruption, bad governance, and
Chris, if you allow me to, while we're still on the radio, let me just say this: a lot of young people are dying in Liberia every day. I swear to God, I just heard the death of a young man called Franco J. Oh my God! And there's a video out there of him, you know, going to the hospital and it's in so much pain. Guys, I know we sit on these very platforms, we have our diverse views, but the young people are dying. The generation to take on Liberia, they're dying. I swear to God, if we don't step up, if we don't do something, I'm making an honest appeal to all of us, guys, especially for those of you in government who think that you can build 10, 15, 20 mansions, okay, and don't invest in healthcare. When you saw my hair, God, the video is sad. I'm gonna put it in the chat room. You guys watch this young man. Franco J was one home we were going back and forth with. It's sad.
No,
all right, Judas, but thank you, Myean. Thank you for being in the studio. Okay,
they told making $20,000 per month in Liberia, the escalators.
Okay.
Go to President Bwaga office. He gave me say, I know how many $1 million in the recast budget. Kun office, Kun is the vice president that is making a $3 million US per year in the budget, in the recast budget. Look there. Joseph Bwaga was making a $2.51 million per year for 12 years.
Good night, guys.
You starting the show or it's
$2 million. Kun is making $3.7 million per year. That the people with all the sick people should land and go to the Capitol building. Young people about cheer. These are the corruption King Kong. Let them go to them. Don't bring
and I agree with you. I agree with you, though. I agree with you, but it was sad to see that young man. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for staying up late. I know it's very late back home, but thank you so much for your dedication and contribution to the show tonight.
How do you call your name? How do you pronounce your name? Torgbean?
Yeah, Torgbean.
Wean?
No,
Torgbean.
Are you from Sagley?
No, from Tapatan.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. From Tap City.
Yeah, what?
How you pronounce your first name?
Myean.
Myean?
Yes.
Myean or Myean?
Myean, I finished.
Yeah.
Myean.
Is that a Mana name?
Yeah, Mana name.
Myean or Myean.
Kehleboe, you're accusing me the other day of talking about you're not Liberian. Look, you can't even pronounce my own Liberian brother name.
But the way people spell that name.
You can't even pronounce, but now you see. Now I got something on you too.
Oh no.
Bye,
brother. I
spell
my name, Kehleboe. Kehleboe is a typical Mana name, you can know it.
But Lofa Julius is a typical Liberian name.
Oh, Lofa Julius, that's not a real name though. You know that. When you call you the voice message, call your real name. You know that. I'm trying to send cash out to you, your real name appear. This is your screen name here. You know that.
Let me get on, man. Get good night.
We cry for peace.